said tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home. When I'm home. I was just so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare. But when I stopped to see those eyes begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes down to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try it. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have the time to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I fall asleep when I'm home. When I'm home. No way to go, no one that can see through at the side of the light. I can see my life is crap, I have to see them too. I just live into my world, far from the pain.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here tonight. We are live Charlotte Speedway here, Motor Speedway, ExtremeMotorsports99.com for the Dre Broadcast 175 here tonight, live for the Cup Series. These are the big boys here. These guys, man, don't play around here. This is the best of the best from ExtremeMotorsports99.com has to offer. Concord, USA, we got some partly cloudy skies here tonight. And it's going to be a special night here because I'm about to, here in just a few minutes, hand over the keys, man, to the kingdom, so to speak, of OSR Network to Ryan W. Daniels and Sean Shula, man, from Dre Broadcasting. I call him Shulu, by the way. This is kind of one of those running jokes. But, guys, how are y'all doing tonight?
Doing good, and how are you?
I'm wonderful. Ryan, how you doing?
Oh, I'm pumped up, bud. I'm ready to accept those keys from you and give you and all these guys out on OSR Network and Dre Broadcasting and all these guys in the field one heck of a show.
Well, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, give a quick shout out to our title sponsor here at OSR Networks. That's TN Designs, Racing Designs, and Graphics here tonight. Well, guys, man, I'll tell you what, we just got done with qualifying. And you got a full course of people out there, man, waiting to hear what y'all two men have it. So, without further ado, folks, I'll still be here. So, I might try to yell at y'all a couple times out in the chat there and throw a little bit of camera angles. But, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to Ryan W. Daniels and Sean Zulu.
It's great to be here. I've never caught a Gen 6 race here at Extreme Motorsports before, but you know, you always talk about how these guys are the big guys and how to get the job done, so I'm excited. I don't know what they have in store for us, but fingers crossed.
I can tell you one thing, Sean. These guys are going to put on an awesome show tonight. If last night was any indication of the type of racing that we're going to get tonight, those Xfinity guys put on a race that you'd almost expect to see it at a restrictor plate track. Over 21 lead changes and a late race charge by Brian Johnson to take the win there on 4 new tires. Definitely going to be a strategy game tonight, possibly, and we'll have to see what these Cup drivers can do here to put on the absolute best show they can to try to top what happened last night.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking right now. We actually have some drivers. I'm noticing a couple of drivers here. Well, 6 of Tom Wetmore, who's in the track series, and also the Xfinity series from last night. So that's some great practice for him. And also looking at the fuel limit, these guys have a 75% fuel limit. So that's gonna be something to look forward to. That's most likely about 3 to 4 pit stops.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be around the 3 to 4 pit stop range, and these guys are going to have to be smart. I'm going to go by off of what we learned from last night early in this race. I really think that it's going to be anytime the caution comes out. I think these guys are going to come get tires because last night tires were a premium in that Xfinity car.
Oh yeah, and usually the tires that wear are the right sides. The right front is the most crucial, is what it seems like. When drivers are taking 2 tires, they most of the time only take right sides and not very much left sides.
Yeah, that's definitely got to agree with there. We definitely saw 2 tires last night, and they worked for a little while, but not too long, and they seemed to free up the Xfinity car. I don't know how that will translate to the Cup car, and also considering they just updated the Xfinity car, so that could just be something that we can come to expect from that car, and this Cup car could be completely different. So it's definitely going to be interesting, but we've got an absolutely stacked field tonight, and looks like Jake Nichols, the Superman, is going to take the pole here tonight with Adam Gilliland joining him on the front row.
Yeah, and those are some great lap times right there. Jake Nichols taking first place in practice and first place qualifying, and Adam Gilliland taking second place practice and qualifying. So that's very, very good to see. You're going to see how these guys do in the long run, because that's very important.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch some of these guys, too, that may be deeper in the field. For example, Tyler Laughlin, he was unable to set a lap time. He's going to start at best 32nd. He's won already, I want to say, at least once this season, won back at Kansas, Tyler Laughlin did, and he's going to have a lot of work to do if he's going to win tonight. But just, as we said, a stacked field. Jake Nichols out in front. You've got Jimmy Mullis in the field as well. Guys like John Wimbish are going to join us in the field. Aiden Young, Alan Elwood. you know, a lot of guys we've come to know here, and we can't obviously forget last year's past champion, Bobby Cheney in the 99. He's going to start 12th tonight as well.
Man, Ryan, it just makes me wonder. I mean, these guys, I've heard a lot of these guys from different racing leagues. They know how to get the job done. Some drivers here do run, are pro drivers. So it makes me wonder if starting in the back in 32nd place, 35th place is a good idea. I doubt that.
Yeah, I'm not real sure. With as many cars as there are in this field, being at the back to me wouldn't seem necessarily like that big of an advantage because, you know, if a wreck happens, that's a lot of cars that you're going to have to hope avoid that wreck, especially early on in this race when everybody's going to be really bunched together. But it's definitely going to be interesting to watch some of the comers and goers all night long, not just at the start. And we definitely saw that last night. We saw drivers that started dead last night running as high as in the lead. So, I mean, you never know what's going to happen here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com, and especially not in such a stacked field as it is in the Cup Series.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. The best saying that I know, the famous one from Dave Everly as well. It's not over until it's over. So you might see some drivers starting in the back, and you might not know it, but they might just end up winning the race. We have seen it a lot of times, and most drivers do end up going sometimes a lap or more down, 5-6 laps down, and sometimes get all their laps back and win the race. So anything definitely is possible. These guys will not be comfortable until lap 175 on the exit of turn 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned Dave Everly. We are here at the Dre Broadcasting 175 here in the ExtremeMotorsports99.com Cup Series. And you, Sean, obviously work with Dave over on Dre Broadcasting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Dre Broadcasting and some of the leagues that you guys do each and every week?
Oh, sure. Gladly. Yeah, we started Dre Broadcasting not too long ago, and we actually are live 6 nights a week. So on Saturday nights, we do the CRA, which is Cyber Racing Association Drive for Autism Super Speedway Summer Series. That alternates between the Track Series and their K&N Series. And on Sunday nights, we do the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series live on the iRacing portal. And on Mondays and Tuesdays, on Monday nights, we do Extreme Motorsports 99 K&N Pro Series. And Tuesday nights, we do the Extreme Motorsports 99 Camping World Track Series. And on Wednesday nights, Dave Everly and Tana Sharp take over and do the Cyber Racing Association Dirt Series. So they go sideways. And on Thursday night, Dave does the Upper Edge Racing. Actually, Upper Edge Racing is the new series that Dave just picked up. So he will be doing that with Tana Sharp. So once again, we are live 6 nights a week, and we are off on Friday nights. And check us out at DreBroadcastingNetwork.net. Or actually, DreBroadcasting.net, not the network, DreBroadcasting.net, and YouTube.com/Dre Broadcasting Network.
Well, thank you for that, Sean. Definitely, all you guys at home, be sure to do that. Check out Dre Broadcasting. And before we get going here, we got about 10 seconds until they're going to get ready to grid. Definitely want to thank all the guys at Dre Broadcasting for sponsoring this event tonight, and you, Sean, for coming on board to work with me and Joe here for the OSR Network's live coverage of this race. And again, thank you guys for allowing me to join you guys on Dre Broadcasting the other night for the Camping World Truck Series for Extreme99.com.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be working side by side with you guys, just like you had pointed out on the on Dre Broadcasting on Tuesday night, and also Joe White did the exact same thing when I broadcast with him on one Monday night a while back, I believe 3 weeks ago. Talked about how you think we're rivals, but we actually work together, Dre Broadcasting and the online Sim Racing Network. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely, as Joe has pointed out in the past, unprecedented really to kind of see two broadcasting networks working together, not just for one league, but just in general here. And if I had to handpick somebody to work with, I'm very happy it's you, Sean, because definitely I've seen your guys' work, and you and Dave do an excellent job over at Dre Broadcasting. So thank you for joining me here tonight.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine, brother. But as we speak here, the guys are currently gridding up, and our pole-sitter Jake Nichols with the 83 of Adam Gilliland right side by side and in second place. The 5 Alan J. Elwood third, 71 of Colton Davis fourth, the 115 of Cody Pace fifth, the 19 of Patrick Mallet sixth, 67 of Cameron Hearn seventh, the 2 of Ethan Kurtz eighth, the 26 of Devin Schmecker ninth, the 40 of Jimmy Mullis 10th, and that does round up the top 10.
Yeah, and also a couple notable other drivers throughout the field. Tyler Siffert's going to start in the 11th spot. We mentioned the past champion Bobby Cheney in 12th, and some of our big hitters early on in the season so far, Tyler Laughlin, Tyler Ducharme, Tom Wetmore, and even Delonte Ballard and John Houston did not set a qualifying time. They will have to start from the back. Those are 5 guys who have definitely shown some strength early on in the season that are going to be a threat, I would say, at some point tonight to try to not only get up front, but maybe try to get up front and try to win this race.
Oh, absolutely. That just keeps the excitement even higher for us, for something to look forward to. So, ladies and gentlemen, get your popcorn ready. Hang on to your seats. It will be a bumpy ride throughout this field here. So far, once we cross start finish line for the first lap, it is going to tell us exactly how many drivers are starting tonight's race. But so far, we have only 31 drivers qualifying. And right now, Ryan, I have spotted a driver I'm familiar with. That's the 9, or the young 9 of Aiden Young.
Yeah, Aiden Young going to start in this field a little bit further back in the 20th position in the OSR Network Motor Sims Racing Magazine machine. And up at the front, these boys are coming out of turn 4. As Joe likes to say, that pace car is going to take that hard left turn onto pit road. Jake Nichols is going to lead them down here. And I'm going to hand it off to you, Sean, to call the green.
The green flag does fly. 73 puts it down to pull the final. Edward does see it coming. 83, Adam Gillen trying to play catch up. 71, right hand Colton Davis trying to catch up here. Trying to outshift the 5 of Alan J. Elwood. But they will fall short here before they have a chance to get up to speed.
That's for sure, and Jake Nichols breaks out to the early lead in front of the field, and they are side by side all the way back to this field as drivers begin to shuffle and try to figure out which line is going to be the way to go on this initial start. Right now, to me, looks like the momentum on the top is already playing dividends for Adam Gillen in that 83 car, and not too far behind him, that 71 of Colton Davis is now trying to make it work to the outside of the 5 of Alan J. Elwood.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that the outside line is working this early here with the Gen 6 cars, because usually in the Truck Series and K&N Series, the outside line doesn't come to life until later on in the run with about maybe 10 to 12 laps on the tires, but these guys still making it work. 115 Cody Pace trying to challenge the 67 of Cameron Hearn with the 5 of Alan Elwood on his in front of him. He tries to move out of the way. He goes high here to try to overtake him. Henry tries fine too.
Yeah, that's for sure. A great battle there right now as the 115 still to the outside of the 5, and now it looks like Cameron Hearn was going to try to go high and follow behind the 115, but it did not work. And now the 26 of Devin Smirker down past the 67, and now to the inside of the 5 of Alan J. Elwood. Alan J. Elwood not quite having the start he was looking for yet. He's lost a few spots already.
Yeah, right now he is trying to play catch up. 67 Cameron Hearn will try and assist him, but nope, he does have his door shut by the 26 of Devin. And Devin will trust the inside once again on the 5 of Alan Elwood. They'll be side by side on the exit of turn 2. The 5 of Elwood will get the slingshot and keeps momentum here entering turn 3.
Yeah, still side by side in 3 as Devin Smirker trying to make it work on the bottom. Maybe doesn't quite have it just yet. Obviously, we've seen the momentum early on work up top, and now it's starting to play into the favor of the 5, I do believe, of Alan Elwood, who has been able to keep it side by side. Not too far back behind them. There's some more battles here just outside the top 10 right now. As we go a little bit further back, we've got the 99 of Bobby Cheney making the move around the 8 of Brian Johnson and the 39 of John Wimbish.
Oh, we have the first caution here on lap number 5. We will see who was involved.
Yeah, going to go back and try to get an idea of what happened there, and we're actually going to throw it to Joe White here under the caution flag. It looks like something may have happened in front of the 59 of James Thorndike, a couple cars smoking. Looks like it was the 25 of Tyler Ducharme.
All right, guys, well, I'll tell you what, let's throw back here to our caution of the 59 machine here. James Thorndike. Great calling so far in this race, man. These guys, man, are doing it big here at Charlotte under the lights. I'm over here trying to get these people pumped up as we're watching here. Actually looked like, man, that James Thorndike was just a victim of circumstance there. Let's go back one more time. Here, one more time on the replay. Show what exactly happened, because it looked like it happened in front of him. So we're watching right here, folks. Just got to give the viewers, man, an idea. He was out there riding along, the 59 was. Yeah, that happened right in front of him. Just unfortunate for him, the 59 machine. So we've seen him come out of the pace right here. Went back a little too. Yep, happened in front of him. He just actually tried to slow up. And it looks like, man, just wrong place, wrong time. Got clipped right there. No harm, no fouls, always like to say. Guys, looking good out there, man, so far. How y'all two feeling up there?
I'm feeling pretty good right now, Joe. I don't know about you, Sean.
Oh, absolutely. Feeling great as well. Just enjoying seeing these guys with the hammers down the floor with some heavy, or I should say loud engines.
Yeah, these motors are ripping early on here, and we're going to have a new leader. It looks like one driver stayed out. I want to say that was the 34 of Delonte Ballard. May have stayed out. I couldn't identify the number. It was a different number tonight, and it also looks like the 00 of Nick Hunt may have missed his pit. So he is going to cycle around, and he is now in line behind the 21 of David Elliott and the 34 of Delonte Ballard.
Yep, and also the 21 of David Elliott stay out. He did take over the race lead here, giving us our first lead change of the night, and decides to keep staying out. So everyone has pitted except for Delonte Ballard and the leader, the 21 of David Elliott. I'm not sure how this is going to affect the 21 of Elliott, but everyone has pitted, and now he has 6 laps more on his tires compared to everybody else.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's going to be interesting to see how these old tires hold up front for both of these two, the 21 and 34. And not too far behind them, obviously, and going to restart third is Jimmy Mullis in the 40. I'm going to assume that Jimmy must have taken 2 tires because he was not in that front group. But he was the first car off of pit road by a little bit of a margin, and Jake Nichols, our former race leader, is now going to come out in the 4th position.
Yep, that's a confirmed 2-tire pit stop because his pit time was 8.1 seconds compared to that of everybody else, above 13 seconds. So yep, that is 2 tires. We're gonna see exactly how this affects him, but he is in a very good spot with 2 guys in front of him who have not taken tires. So they're in worse shape than he is, if anything.
Yeah, that's for sure. These guys rolling through 3 and 4. Going to be exciting here on this restart. It's going to be interesting to see now what these older tires are going to do. Hopefully those guys will be able to keep it up front. And the pace car is off. The 21 of David Elliott's going to get a good jump. Jimmy Mullis going to follow behind him. Maybe caught the 34 of Delonte Ballard sleeping a little bit on that start as they go through turn number 1.
Yep, that 40 of Mullis will benefit from the error of the 34 of Delonte Ballard. Takes over 2nd place here on the exit of turn 2 up, pulling the 73 of Jake Nichols with him. Jake Nichols hungry for his race lead. He's trying to get the race lead back because it was rightfully his. The 40 of Jimmy was by the inside of the 21 of Elliott, who will stay high to let him by.
Yeah, the 21 of David Elliott, very classy move there, allowing these guys in the fresh tires just to get by him, not holding them up this early on in the race. No point in trying to get that 21 car torn up. Try to save it for later. That Texas Roadhouse machine, though, still looking good on the top there, even though David is starting to fall back. But we have a new leader, the 40 of Jimmy Mullis, takes over the race lead. Going to have to see how those 2 tires hold up now against Jake Nichols' 4 tires.
Yep, and for the back in the pack, we do have a cluster forming. The 7 here involved. That's going to be Tyler Sifford. 26 of Devin Allen Elwood. They'll take the 21 of David Elliott, who will stay high right now just to pretty much let everybody by, because once again he is on older tires, and that most likely is affecting him. Because on the first lap when they went, we have some contact. We have heavy wreck on the exit of turn 2 on the backstretch. Heavy smoke, but the caution is not going to fly.
Yeah, caution still is not out, and now it has flown. Some more cars did spin there. The 67 involved, the 7 of Tyler Sifford, and the 00 of Nick Hunt got caught up in it at the very end there as well.
All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, right there, man. I saw Cameron Hearn going to spin it down on the bad stretch. As let's go back here on the replay here and watch that one, because it was a huge one coming out of the turn. Cameron Hearn, I think he's just maybe one of those, a victim of circumstance again here. As man, these guys are screaming around Charlotte under the lights here. Oh, Tyler Sifford got clipped a little bit. Came down in, like I said, that's what I thought. Cameron Hearn just right there got involved. Man, I tell you what, I got the chat roaring out there, guys. Man, they're loving every minute of it right here tonight under the lights at Charlotte. Doing a good job, gentlemen. I'll send it back to you. If y'all want to do any interviews, let me know. We'll yank somebody up here for you.
Well, Sean, I think if we were going to do an interview right now, I think it's only natural we got to try to get a talk with the driver of the number 40, Jimmy Mullis, to see how he feels after that short run on those 2 tires.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree. Let's set it up.
All right, and we'll pull him up in here. Jimmy Mullis, this is Ryan Daniels in the OSR Network booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Jimmy, we saw you beat everybody off of pit road that last time on that shorter run that you just had there before the caution. How was that number 40 machine handling on those 2 tires?
It felt a lot better than it does on 4 tires. It rotated, so, that was good, but I could tell Jake was going to get me if that caution didn't come out. But with the way the tires are here, I think that these guys that stayed out are going to fall off pretty quickly if we can go green.
Yeah, it definitely appears to be that way early on here. So would you say that this car is tight early in this race so far on 4 tires?
Oh, yeah, it's extremely tight. But it's manageable. I mean, it's going to produce some good racing if we can get some green flag laps going. Sorry, I can't speak. Struggling.
No, it's perfectly all right, man. We thank you for coming up here and talking with us, and we wish you luck the rest of the way here. And go ahead and get that numbers 40 machine back up front there on those 4 fresh tires, man.
Thank you, Ryan.
No problem. Thank you, sir. All right, Sean. Well, we now know these cars are handling pretty tight out here. What do you think these guys are going to have to do, in your opinion, to be able to overcome that and try to work their way through this field?
Well, from what the 40 of Jimmy had pointed out, he says surprisingly is more stable with 2 tires compared to 4 tires. So maybe 2 tires is the way to go. But at this point, I'm kind of hesitant. We're gonna try and get a different perspective from a different driver, because maybe his driving style might be different.
Yeah, that's for sure. And these boys are rolling through turn 3 again. I'm going to hand it to you for this restart this time. And Jake Nichols is going to be our leader once more here.
Yeah, we exit turn 4. He's just getting bunched up nice and tight. The pacer takes a hard left off the racing surface. Jake Nichols puts it down the floor. He does catch him off guard. The 115 Cody Pace with some heavy wheel spin there. Got sideways a little bit. Was able to hang on to it because then he lost some speed. The 2 of Ethan Kurtz will benefit from it. The 6 of Blake Reynolds will drop down behind him to freighter in the 115 of Pace.
Yeah, that's for sure. That 115, as you said, definitely looked like he got a little bit of tire spin on that restart. And now Jake Nichols with his sort of protege Ethan Kurtz now running in second, but that 66 of Blake Reynolds and that Tom's Toyota looking strong on the bottom right now as he's trying to get around the 2 car of Ethan Kurtz, while Jake Nichols continues to run away right now from this lead group.
And that 115 of Cody Pace right now coming back to life. He is back to life. He was losing a lot of time, but ended up getting up speed and the caution has flown.
Yes, we have a massive pile up out of turn 2. That might be half the field involved in that crash.
Well, the 6 of Tom Wetmore was involved in that. Let's see who else. The 1 of Travis McDaniel as well. The 83 of Adam Gilliland got the worst end of that deal. Gonna hand it back to Joe on this one.
Yeah, let's go back on that replay. I saw that. Man, that was just a huge, as Ryan would always say, pile up in turn 3 or 4 or wherever that thing was, because it was a huge one. Guys coming out of here, like you said, yeah, I just saw the 83 get involved. They were coming out of turn number 2, and it's a car wreck, man, right there on the entrance of the bad stretch. Man, there was cars everywhere. Just a roadblock. Looks like I-85, I-77 here in Charlotte in the morning time. I don't know if any of you guys, man, know about it, but yeah, you can forget about getting through there in the morning. So, again, man, another caution here, but that's kind of what it produces here at Charlotte when these cars are that tight, that close, and he's got that much action going on the track. Doing good, gentlemen. Hope y'all having fun.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. And just to give the fans at home an idea of some of the cars that may have been involved there as well, that was a little bit tough to see because of all that smoke. The 6 of Tom Wetmore was obviously involved. The 40 of Jimmy Mullis, who we just talked to. Adam Gilliland. The 26 of Devin Smirker. The 9 of Aiden Young, heavily involved, as was the 39 of John Wimbish. And a few other cars further back, including the 13 of Matt Hoover. And the 28 of Ryan Keese took a big hit there late after just about almost making it through that wreck.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for all drivers involved, but good thing they do have one backup car here, so they will be able to get a brand new one. Like the 40 of Jimmy Mullis now rolling off pit with his brand new machine. In front of him is the 83 of Adam.
Yeah, that's for sure. And right now it is a good thing they have those, but the unfortunate thing is some of those guys that were involved in that were you know, likely, obviously, like Jimmy Mullis, he had those 4 fresh tires, maybe had a car that could compete for the win. He now goes from a position where he may have been able to try to storm back to the front on those tires. Now he has to go to the back and try to save that car for, you know, it's a 150 lap race. We're not even on lap 20 yet. He has to try to save that car for almost 130 laps now and hope that he is able to avoid. Okay. He has to be able to avoid the rest of the accidents here tonight if we have any more. Hopefully we're able to stay green, but we're going to try to get a talk here with Cody Pace before we go back to green. Sean, I'm going to let you get a word with Cody.
Thank you. Well, we do have the 115 Cody Pace up here with us. Look up there, Cody.
What's going on?
How are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good.
Well, Cody, we've been watching you here all race long, and noticing that last restart, it did seem as though you had a little bit of wheel spin there, and you were able to get it under control, and just lost one spot to the 2 of Ethan Kurtz, but you were able to hold off Blake Reynolds for the most part. But how's the car handling?
Car handles real good. There's going to be real good racing here after we go green right here. I got a feeling it's going to be a long run. Decided to pit here and kind of change it up instead of just staying out there on old tires. But we'll see how it goes.
Oh, absolutely, brother. And we actually had a chance to speak to the 40 of Jimmy Mullis, and he talked about how 2 tires was the way to go. He talked about how 2 tires was more stable than 4 tires. What's your opinion on that? Or you have not yet tested the 2-tire strategy?
I think 2 tires will be good on when it's around maybe 10 to go, 5 to go. It'll be a winning move, but I'm not a fan of 2 tires. I'll probably take 4 tires all the time.
Oh, 10-4, brother. Well, Cody, thank you for taking the time to come up to talk to us about the situation of the race. Doing an amazing job so far, headed the right direction. So good luck to you, buddy, and keep doing exactly what you're doing.
Thank you.
And that was the 115 of Cody Pace. And now we are back 1 to green.
Yes, we are, and we're going down the back straightaway now as the new, or still our race leader is going to be the 73 of Jake Nichols, and he's actually done something different than we've seen yet, Sean. He has chosen to take the outside lane on this restart. I would say a little bit of collusion there between he and the 2, probably going to try to orchestrate this restart a little bit.
Oh, yeah, so most likely trying to set himself up for a sweet entry, or sweet entrance to turn number 1, or turns number 1 and 2. Then we do exit turn 4. Well, Ryan, do the honors.
All right, well, Jake Nichols is going to get ready to put his foot to the floor in that OSR network number 73, and he does. He's going to jam it right through those gears, keep it on the high side, take the line, and he is going to have about a car length gap back to the 2 of Ethan Kurtz as everybody else goes side by side as we enter turn 1. That's 66 of Blake Reynolds now looking to the inside of the 8 of Brian Johnson, and not far behind them, a guy we haven't mentioned yet tonight, Nick Northrup in the 54, has now worked his way up into the top 5.
Oh, yeah, we have 2 new drivers here in the top 5, Nick Northrup being one of them, and the 8 of Brian Johnson. Right now, Nick coming from 25th to 5th, gaining 20 spots this far. Brian coming from 19th to 3rd place. Right now, the 2 of Ethan Kurtz trying to hold off the 66 of Blake Reynolds. But Reynolds with the hammer down the floor, determined to make it stick, and he makes it work here. He makes it pass successfully on the exit of 2 throughout the backstretch.
Very true, and right now it's definitely pretty cool to see some of the different names running up front here. You know, obviously Jake out in front with Blake Reynolds, you know, Ethan Kurtz, Brian Johnson, Nick Northrup, all rookies so far this season, or at least as far as I know, they are rookies to ExtremeMotorsports99.com's Cup Series. So different variety of drivers up front, and not far behind them, the 99, last year's champion, Bobby Chaney. Mr. Consistency so far tonight has been nothing but consistent and has now worked his way into the top 6 and looking for more.
Oh, yeah, he won't stop. He has made it a long way, and he's got a few more spots to gain to take that race lead, but I'm not sure what the 73 of Jake Nichols has to say about that. And the 8 of Brian Johnson right now overtaking the 54, or at least trying to overtake the 54 of Nick Northrup, who will make the outside line work. Gets that slingshot off turn 2 and will propel, entering turn 3.
Yeah, that's one thing I have noticed so far. With as tight as these race cars appear to be, according to these drivers, that would explain why the outside line works so early on. And as these tires get older and older, you know, that inside line is just not going to help you at all. It's only going to continue to burn the rubber off your tires. So right now, that 54 of Nick Northrup has got to be in the right place here as he's trying really hard to work his way around the outside of the 8 of Brian Johnson, who actually got a little bit loose, it looked like there, as they came out of turn 2.
And that before Nick successfully makes the pass against the 8 of Johnson, and that 99 of Cheney was trying to do the exact same. He was trying to follow the line of 54 of Nick Northrup, but the door closed, and right now he moves the 8 of Johnson up the track, and they'll be side by side toward the front stretch, entering turn 1.
Yeah, hard charge right now by that 99 of Bobby Cheney, making it work on the bottom, and he's followed behind him by the 34, his teammate of Delonte Ballard, and not too far behind them as well as the 71 of Colton Davis, who has worked his way back into the top 10. These guys are working really hard, these SRA teammates, trying to get around that 8 of Brian Johnson, but Brian is now still holding strong there in the 5th spot.
And the status check on the 40 of Jimmy Mule is here. He is behind the 83 of Adam Gilliland. These guys just pretty much riding behind in the 15th and 16th place spot so far. Just seem to be content with riding and not making any moves. But by looks of it, what you talked about is true. Them using up their backup cars has changed the way they're driving so far.
Yeah, so far right now, it looks like these guys are trying to be a little bit more patient, trying a lot more single file racing further back. The best battle on the track is the one we're focusing on up here at the front, as Nick Northrup is now on the bottom trying to get by the 8 of Brian Johnson. And it looked briefly there like the 2 of Ethan Kurtz maybe holding this group up a bit, as it's now gone from maybe 5 or 6 cars, so the majority of the field is back here behind the 2, and the 2 lone cars out in front are Jake Nichols, and he is actually being run down a little bit lap by lap by the 66 of Blake Reynolds.
And that 71 of Colton Davis coming out of nowhere will assist the 8 of Brian Johnson on the outside line here. They just might make it work. The 71 of Colton getting a run on the 8 of Johnson, but Johnson will propel here on the 8 of turn 2. Past the 54 of Nick Northrup, now to drop off the 71 of Colton Davis. To do the exact same thing, make the exact same moves and make it stick, make the pass successfully. And behind him, he does the 99 of Bobby Cheney, falling short.
Yeah, Bobby Cheney now going to get passed by his teammate in 34, Delonte Ballard, to the inside, and right behind Delonte Ballard, the probably one of the most extreme originals we have in the field, Mr. Extreme himself, Mike Rominger, is now trying to work his way into the argument here to try to get up front. He and Bobby Cheney now looking like they're going to battle here by the time they get to turn 3, as Colton Davis is now to the inside of the 8 car and looking to try to get to the inside of the 2 of Ethan Kurtz as well.
And also right now, Ryan, I am focused on the that's going to be the 4 of Mike Rominger. Mike Rominger, he has seemed to have found a roadblock behind the 99 of Bobby Cheney. He just seems to be trying to figure out a way to get around him. Maybe mind games might work. He gets a run on him here and almost bumps him on the 8 of 2, but backs off, and because he backed off, he did leave enough room, enough speed for the 19 of Patrick Mallet to occupy his inside.
Yeah, Patrick Mallard, one of the other newcomers here to ExtremeMotorsports99.com, now looking to the inside of the 4 machine, is not behind, or is just behind him as well. The 5 of Alan Elwood, we saw him get involved in a wreck early. He has now put himself now just back outside the top 10. So we talked about some of these guys may have trouble working their way back through the field. Certainly not the case at the moment as well. One of the drivers who started really far back, we mentioned him early on, Tyler Laughlin, has worked his way from 32nd all the way up to 13th spot now in that 51 Monster Energy machine.
Yep, and Tyler will get some assistance from the 83 of Adam Gilliland, and the caution flies.
Yeah, we got a spinner at the end of the back straightaway there. I'm trying to get an idea on it so we can throw it to Joe and he can give us some analysis as to what may have happened. It looks like it may have been the 151 of Davis Richards.
Yeah, let's go back on the replay here, guys. Man, looks like, yeah, the 151 there, Davis Richards, kind of got caught up. Watching this replay here, he's got old 59 on the inside. Like I said, these cars get very tight, very quick. They're door to door. Yeah, he just looked like he got tight up there, man. Oh, nailed the Coors Light can machine right there a little bit. Wrinkled it. Aiden Young, boy, I'll tell you what, he got through that thing awesome. And whoo, there's another car back there that just almost skinned the cat, so to speak, back there. But guys, we'll tell you what a race so far. Watching all this action and sitting over here, man, kind of unusual for me. Kind of twiddling my thumbs, just so to speak. But y'all doing great out there.
Absolutely, Joe. We do hope that we're entertaining enough to slow down the twiddling of the thumbs. And holy cow, Ryan, the 26th of Devon, be getting involved in his second incident of the night. That's some bad news.
Yeah, not good there for the for a couple of those guys. You are right, a couple of these drivers that were involved for the second time as well. But Joe mentioned a masterful job by a couple of these drivers to work their way through that and not get involved. As we noted earlier, Aiden Young heavily involved in that first crash. That could have been devastating had he been involved, but able to back it down, get through the grass, and just barely made it through. But a lot of these guys now obviously going to hit pit road, get 4 fresh tires on these things, and some of these guys. Wouldn't surprise me to see somebody maybe like Nick Hunt, James Haney, or Ryan Keese stay out here, try to get a wave around, and get some of their laps back after some of those earlier cautions. And right now, Sean, I'm going to let you interview the driver of the number 6, Tom Wetmore, who we do have in the staging room.
Tom Wetmore, gonna go up there, buddy.
I sure do, man. How are you guys doing?
How are you?
We'd be doing a lot better if it wasn't marred back here in traffic.
I can only imagine, brother. But so far, doing an amazing job. You got caught into a little bit of an incident there early on in the race, but you were able to get a brand new Dre broadcasting machine. You want to talk about that paint scheme a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I got to thank Dre Broadcasting for all the help that they've done and being able to go home with a truck championship last year. And thanks to them coming on board and sponsoring this race, wanted to bring out a commemorative paint scheme to be able to see in here at night. So it's a high-vis tribute to Dave Everly, Sean, and obviously the whole team here at Dre Broadcasting. And just a huge thanks for what they've done. So I wanted to bring out a commemorative paint scheme that hopefully you'll be able to see from the front of the pack instead of the back very soon.
Oh, copy that, Tom. Well, thank you for being a part of the Dre Broadcasting Network. That paint scheme definitely does suit that car very well. But besides that, how's the car handling out there? Because we've gotten some perspectives of how tight the car is and how 2 tires might be the way to go, and 4 tires in the long run and 2 tires in the short run.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking a 10-15 lap run here, 2 tires is definitely worth the track position you gain here, but as close as this field is, but as quickly as the tires go away here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, it's if you're not taking 4 tires, you're going to lose some time rather quickly.
Oh, I can only imagine. And Tom, on Monday and Tuesday, I did Dave and I were able to do the Pro Can-N cars and the track series at the exact same track here, Charlotte. And with those cars, they started off tight in the beginning, but ended up loosening up in the long run. Is it the same with these ones?
I'll let you know when we get a long green flag run, and unfortunately we've been marred with some accidents due to some net code and some other variables. But you know, I certainly hope that normally coming off 2 here, the car will get a little bit free. But just haven't seen it here yet in the Dre Broadcasting Camry.
Oh, that's definitely understandable. Well, brother, you are now back 1 to green. Let's help make that 6th Dre Broadcasting Network machine come to victory lane. Good luck to you, buddy, and make us proud.
Thanks, Sean, and thanks to all you guys out there.
And that was the 6th of Tom Wetmore, and now we are back 1 to green.
Yes, we are, Sean, back 1 to green, and definitely cool to hear from Tom Wetmore's perspective there that these cars maybe not getting as free off of turn 2 as they normally do. So obviously the tightness of these cars definitely playing into effect for sure early on. And right now, the leader, Jake Nichols, will restart us again here, but another newer name here now worked his way into the top 3. Colton Davis had a great pit stop. We now have Jake Nichols, Blake Reynolds, and Colton Davis. All 3 of them are were one time or are now currently peak antifreeze or pro drivers. So these guys, very stout top 3 right now.
And the pace car does leave the racing surface. The 73 of Jake Nichols still holding pace speed. He puts it down the floor. He does catch him off guard. The 66 of Blake Reynolds sees it coming quite a bit. The 8 of Brian Johnson on the outside there, caught sleeping. And the 71 of Colton Davis will benefit from his mistake.
Yeah, that's for sure. Colton Davis going to get a good run on the inside of the 8. Going to make that pass with ease on the bottom as they go through turn 1 and 2. As they head down the back straightaway, single file with the top 5 or 6 drivers. And then we'll go side by side a little bit further back. We got the 5 of Alan Elwood. He was working to the inside of the 19 of Patrick Mallett, who has worked his way up into the 7th spot. Patrick Mallett looking like he's having a really good run right now as well. And Bobby Cheney now making work on the bottom with that 99 machine around the 34 of Delonte Ballard.
And Bobby Cheney is bringing a 6-7 of Cameron Hearn with him on the inside, but Cheney jumps up in line there on the outside and does leave. Oh, the 99 of Cheney got a little bit loose entering turn 3, and because of that, Cameron Hearn will benefit from that and will occupy his inside, and is going to take the position away from him here on lap 39 of the caution dash line.
Yeah, not sure where it was that time. Gonna try to zoom through the field here and figure out what might have happened out here. See who may have gotten around, and it looks like it may have involved the 55 of James Haney. I'm not sure who else was involved in it.
Yeah, and
it
the
looked like it happened
151
in front of him.
and also the 151 of Davis Richards. Man, that Coors Light machine is beat up.
Yeah, that's for sure. It actually, as we throw it to Joe White here for the replay, it all started with the 88 and the 39 entering turn 3.
All right, yeah, let's go back on the replay here. Like I said, yeah, the 151, a little tore up out there. Talk about the 88 machine there. Just watch right here on the replay. As I watch these guys just storm around this awesome, high bank track here. Charlotte Motor Speedway under the lights, watching the 88 machine on the replay. Got the viewers out there, man, they're loving this action going on here on the track. As I watch John Houston, that's the man in the AC Delco spark plug machine. Let's see what happens to him as he storms off down the back stretch. Let's get John T. Wimmis, looks like coming on his inside. Oh, looks like maybe John might have just got a little tight, get the rear a little bit there. You know, one of them racing deals. And oh, yeah, 151, nowhere to go. Man, not having the night he wants. And that Coors Light machine got a little beat up out there. So, I'll tell you what a race so far, guys. Loving every minute of this. Like hearing y'all, man, to sit over here and call this action. A lot different for me to sit here and do it, because I'm sitting out here talking up a cool breeze to all the viewers out here, and they're loving it. So, guys, I hope y'all having fun.
Oh, I'm having a blast up here. This is definitely different to be up here working with Sean. A lot of fun so far tonight, and these guys are putting on a good show. Even with these cautions early on, it's been really exciting racing, and I hope you feel the same way, Sean. Having the opportunity to be up here and work with you has definitely been exciting so far.
Oh, it has been very exciting, and we do look forward to having some longer runs here, because with these cautions, it's the drivers just getting used to those machines, and once they get used to them, we will see some green flag pit stops and a lot of guys charging through the field. So it's going to be nothing but battlefield until the very end. And we had one drive again, the wave around was 28 of Ryan Keys, back to 1 lap down.
All right, and right now we're actually going to bring up Blake Reynolds and get a word with him, as he has been able so far tonight to bring that 66 machine up to the 2nd spot after starting in 14th. Blake Reynolds, this is Ryan Daniels in the OSR Network booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Blake, you're looking good so far on that number 66 machine. You've been able to bring it up to 2nd. What do you think you got to do to get around that 73 of Jake Nichols?
Well, I've noticed he could really take off here on these restarts. That last, I think it was 2 runs ago, I ran him down after a couple laps. So maybe just keeping the tires on it and just letting him use them all up. So maybe just run him down.
Yeah, you're definitely looking strong right now, as we mentioned, though, in that 66. And, you know, you started 14th, you got it up to 2nd. How would you say this race is going for you so far in terms of handling and whatnot with these cars?
Setup's pretty tight. I kind of had the track position, you know, all these cautions. I've just not been pitting. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, the car, it's good. It's just overall tight, and just on that long run, it's going to get real bad. So maybe if we get one, just watch out for that.
All right, well, we thank you for your insight, and we wish you luck the best the rest of the way here in that 66 Cairns Camry, and hope to get the opportunity to talk with you here at lap 175.
Real quick, Blake, what team room was you in?
Law Dog.
Appreciate it.
And that was 2nd place driver Blake Reynolds, and we are now back 1 to green. And Ryan, that's a very good strategy by Blake, you know, trying to just set up the 73 of Jake Nichols for the long run. That's basically what he's trying to say. Just gonna take it easy, let Jake burn his stuff up, and then hunt him down when he's weak.
Yeah, that's for sure. Definitely a smart strategy. Just let, kind of sit there, observe what the 73 is doing before you make your charge to the front. And, definitely a veteran strategy, you could say, by the driver of the 66. As we mentioned, he is also one of these pro drivers here, so he knows how to get it done. And we're coming to the restart here. That pace car is going to turn left, and Jake Nichols is going to try to catch all these boys off guard again as he does launch that 66. Not as caught sleeping this time as he was the last time, but Jake still got a huge jump out in front as the 66 is going to move to the bottom, and they're all double file all behind them.
Yeah, 71 Cotton Davis makes the pass successfully on this 8 of Brian Johnson, who will stay high because he now has 54 of Nick Northrop on the inside as well. They'll stay side by side with the back stretch. Entering turn 3, that 34 of Delonte Ballard battling the 19 of Patrick Mallet.
Yeah, it's a lot of good battles up here at the front and the back, everywhere out here right now, as these boys really putting on a really good show so far here tonight. Some of these guys just trying to keep the cars clean as they work their way through the field, and further back, even further back than what we've been looking at, we've got, for example, the 40 of Jimmy Mullis. We saw him get involved in an accident early on. Jimmy has now since worked his way back up to the 18th spot. He just seems to be kind of biding his time, picking his way through this field. As 3 wide in front of him, and the 00 gets tagged. He is around in front of the field.
Oh, Jimmy Mullis will get a big piece of that action. He is smoking heavily on the track. And also the 26 of Devin getting involved again is 00 of Nick Hunt. So let's see if we can pass it over to Joe White here on 00 of Nick Hunt.
Yeah, 00 right there, man. I tell you what, just hard racing back there in the back. I actually was watching that from, I call it the Blimpy Cam. Everybody loves a Blimpy Cam. For up high on the Blimpy Cam. So there you go, the 83 machine on the backside of him there. The man's got the Kool-Aid out there. These cars look like they're getting a little tight, almost 3 wide. 83 got into him there a little bit. It was just a pile up on the front stretch. That's all you can say about that one. Them guys out there were just putting it through the wind. Boy, the 88, man, he's out there, man, trying to stop that thing in the grass. It's hard to do. Just one of those, man, huge wrecks on the front stretch, and a lot of Torp race cars. Hopefully some of these guys got their fast fixes and they'll be able to get these machines back out there. Because old Nick Hunt's got a good-looking car. We know he's got that one hair flapping out in the wind. So, guys, back to you.
Thank you, Joe, for that, and we do appreciate, obviously, Joe White being out there to help us call these cautions. As most of y'all at home know, you're watching the broadcast. Just so everyone is aware, Joe is the one flicking the switches. Joe may not be up here commentating with us, but he is right now. He's basically our camera guy, so without Joe, this isn't going on. So at the end of the day, it's still Mr. Joe White killing it on the broadcast, and a couple of guys that are going to be devastated because of that accident there. The 26, Sean, of Devin Smirker, that was the second big hit he's had tonight. That 26 machine is going to be sitting in the pits for a while.
Oh yeah, as we speak, looks like the tow truck just finished towing him. He took some right side, some left side, 4 tires. Let's see if he stays on pit road. Yes, he is staying on pit road. His pit crew hard at work, trying their best to straighten that machine out, to just give it enough speed to still be able to compete here, so they can be able to put down as many laps as possible. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, that is for sure. We've seen a lot of guys tonight having some trouble, and somebody I'm looking at that I just noticed has actually creeped his way into the top 5. Someone we haven't really had the opportunity to talk about tonight, Matt Hoover, in that 13 Busch beer machine, has worked his way up to 5th right now.
Yep, coming all the way from the 21st place position, and behind him is the 83 of Adam Gilliland, who was able to sneak past the incident. They actually got a little piece of it, but not enough to hurt the machine. Yeah, it definitely is good to see newer drivers here in top 5.
Yeah, that is for sure, and basically everybody is on the lead lap. Daniel Haney was the one who was able to get the free pass that last time there. He is now going to find himself back on the lead lap in the 30th spot behind them. Devin Smirker is obviously in the pits. The 39 of John Wimbish finds himself 2 laps down, as does Davis Richards. Travis McDaniel is still unfortunately on pit road. Cameron Hearn is back in the field 4 laps down, and James Haney currently rounding out the field in the 55 with a ton of damage to that HBR Ford Fusion. So we look back up front here. I believe they're going to get 1 to green this time. Just trying to get an idea of who we think is going to have a shot to win here tonight. Sean, if you had to pick an early on favorite, who would you say would have the best chance so far?
So far, the 73 of Jake Reynolds, Jake Nichols, not Jake Reynolds, Jake Nichols would be my top pick because he's been consistent all race long, took first place in practice, took the pole in qualifying, so he does have something against these guys.
Well, I just saw something in the chat, and maybe Joe can get this to work for us. I've seen a request out there by Tim Petito asking for the speed cam, and I think maybe on this restart, once these boys get rolling, Joe, you think we'll be able to get the speed cam going for them?
I think, you're right, man. It's just going to be time for, as the old John T. Wimmis would put it, time for the speed cam. We'll let that thing fly and rip off here on the start here. Showing something we do over here, man, OSR Network. Let them fly for a couple laps around here. Let them hear the sights and sounds. It gets the goosebumps, man, bumping up and down on their arms. And if you don't like that, might want to see a doctor, or you could be just dead. So here we go, folks. You want it, we got it. It's time for the speed cam. Well, folks, right there, I'm going to tell you what, that right there gives you a roar thunder of some awesome V8 horsepower here, American-made machines here in Charlotte, North Carolina, probably one of the homes of NASCAR. And like I always say, if that does not get your blood boiling, man, and get you excited and jumping up down your couch, I don't know what will. And you might want to get a doctor's appointment tomorrow. If you can't get that, go to ER. And if you can't get that, then, well, like I said last night, go watch golf, because I don't know what's going to help you, man, on getting you excited. Guys, take it away, man.
Well, we thank you for the speed cam time, Joe. And I'm looking further back in the field. We were coming back from the speed cam. I noticed a very interesting battle going on, Sean. We had the 6 of Tom Wetmore battling side by side with the 9 of Aiden Young. And someone may ask why it wasn't so interesting. That is the Dre Broadcasting Toyota Camry fighting against the OSR Network Ford Fusion. So a pretty cool moment there as we came back from the speed cam.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very nice observation. And right now, 9 of Aiden Young. Aiden Young tonight has been keeping very, very low profile, and so he has seemed to be paying off. His machine has not a single scratch on it. Very well dressed, and that's very smart driving. I like that.
Yeah, he has been keeping it clean all night long. He's got himself a new spotter out there tonight, and looking like that partnership is paying off here so far for the 9 machine. And Aiden, you know, obviously was involved in that wreck earlier on, but has since been able to keep it clean, running back there with some other guys right now who are probably trying to do the same. The 151 of Davis Richards, the 39 of John Wimbish, and also we just mentioned it running right near the 6 of Tom Wetmore, who looks like he's just kind of waiting it out later in the race to make a run back to the front.
Oh yeah, and Davis Richards, oh, the caution flies here. Big wreck in the triover, holy cow, big wreck. On the front stretch, that's going to be the biggest one tonight. 13 Matt Hoover involved, 67 Cameron Hearn sneak past it, 88 John Hilston, 83 of Adam Gilliland, the 2 of Ethan Kurtz, Bobby Cheney, Richie Evans, Tyler Ducharme, and also the 82 of Mike Franklin.
Yeah, you mentioned it. The big one here has happened on lap number 59, coming to lap 60, and it all started as we throw it to Joe White with the 2 of Ethan Kurtz out of turn 4.
Yeah, I'm going to get right here on Ethan Kurtz here. I'll tell you what, that was a huge one on the front stretch right there. I think it was the front stretch. We'll see it here in just a second. But, yeah, the big one, and I hate seeing it, man, because like you just said, a couple of the heavy hitters here, one namely our defending reigning current champ here in the Cup Series, ExtremeMotorsports99.com. Bobby Cheney was involved in that one. Good thing, though, man, he might have a fast fix here. And, you know, that's the thing, too, guys. We got 36 bad, fast drivers and some bad, fast cars on a bad, fast track. As we watch this, oh, yeah, looks like Brian, man, got into the wall. That stacked him up. Ethan Kurtz got involved. Oh, Bobby Cheney almost skimmed through, got hit. Man, it's a car wreck on the front stretch right there. Guys going through the infield, going around the outside, mowing the grass, as old John Marine would say out there, V8 mowers out there happening. So, guys, man, I'll tell you what a huge one here at Charlotte already early on. And, hey, guys out in the chat, man, they loving y'all calling, man. It's good action so far. Hope y'all having fun.
Yeah, again, I'm having a blast, and Sean, I hope you are as well.
Oh, absolutely. This is a lot of fun seeing these guys whipping these machines. And also, personally, I have not really driven these cars. Last I checked, I mean, I tried driving them on tracks like Charlotte and Atlanta, and I really couldn't handle them compared to the trucks, the B cars, and the K&N cars. So these cars are a different beast.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. I mean, I've had my runs in these Cup cars, and they are so far different from everything else. And you know, as of late, they've updated them as of late. I have not driven one in almost basically since back around February was the real last time I was in one of these Cup machines. So really, I focus on driving the trucks, much like you just said there, Sean. And you know, but one guy I do have to give props to in that wreck, he got a little bit of a piece of it, but Mike Rominger snuck his way just barely through that wreck, got a little bit of front end damage on that 4 machine, but was able to get through the grass, keep that thing straight, and as we just noted a couple times there, minimal damage to that 4. He may be able to get that beaten out of there without using a fast repair if he still has his, and be able to save it for later on in this race.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a very, very good point right there. Very nicely done by Mike Rominger. And looking at, speaking of Mike Rominger, he was actually saving gas, and he did stay out with the 15 of Tom Wetmore. Actually, no, looks like Mike did pit in, but Tom Wetmore did stay out. So that gives Tom Wetmore about 13 laps more in his tires compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I'm going to say Tom might be staying out just to get that one bonus point. He does have some rear end damage on that 6, may have gotten a little bit of a bump during that accident when he was checking up, but Tom right now is our leader. We're going to have to see if he comes to the pit road this time. Behind him, it looks like the 151 of Davis Richards and the 21 of David Elliott Well, David Elliott is also on the lead out, but Davis Richards looks like he's going to try to either get the wave around here, try to get that 151 car back one lap down and be in contention for that lucky dog.
Yeah, Davis Richards has had one of the roughest nights here tonight in tonight's race here at Charlotte for the Cup Series here with the Extreme Motorsports 99, and he is headed down to pit road as we speak to get some service on that machine. And holy cow, Tom Wetmore still staying out. Well, I'm not really sure about this, Ryan, because when we looked at David Elliott in the beginning and also Ballard, those drivers stayed out with only 6 laps older tires. Oh, sorry about that. With 6 lap older tires, and Tom Wetmore having 13 laps more. That's worse.
Yeah, that's going to be really tough right now. And with the rear end damage on that 6 machine, you know, I'm just noticing that it's crinkled his spoiler just a little bit. May make that 6 machine loose. I really sincerely hope that Tom is able to hang on to it here, and that, you know, not that I'm saying that he's going to crash, because Tom Wetmore is a very, very good driver, but that thing may be a little bit of a handful here on this restart, especially in those old tires. It's going to be important to watch and make sure he doesn't spin those things when he goes to hit the gas.
Oh yeah, and they do say loose is fast, so we're gonna see how he handles that. If that definitely does make his car loose, he is in the lead with a 73 of Jake Nichols on his rear end, 71 of Colton Davis on the outside of the help of the 66 of Blake Reynolds. Going green off the exit turn for the pace car does dip off. The 6 of Wetmore still holding pace with 71 of Colton. Oh, he almost jumped the start. Someone puts it down the floor. 73 of Jake Nichols will try and propel past him. And that 73 of Jake Nichols did rear end the 6 of Tom Wetmore on the restart.
Yes, he did, and that's because that 66 got such a good jump, or not the 66, the 71, tried to time it, tried to get a jump on the 6, and when he did, I think Jake kind of went with the 71, may have bumped the back of the 6, but I actually honestly think that bump may have propelled Tom Wetmore out in front. Obviously, these boys are going to run him down here very quickly as they're exiting 4. They're going to catch him in a hurry as they're going to be 3 wide at the start-finish line.
Tom Wetmore is a sitting duck. He stays high to let everybody by. That's a huge speed difference right there. He will go from hero to 0 in a hurry. He falls back in line behind the 54 of Nick Northrup, but behind him, he stays low. He goes on the bottom lane to let everybody by because he knows there's nothing against him.
Yeah, absolutely classy move there by the 6 of Tom Wetmore to just get down out of the way, knowing that those old tires had nothing for those guys on the fresh ones as we continue to see the battle for the lead up front. Colton Davis now to the outside of the 66 of Blake Reynolds, and Jake Nichols has fallen back to 55 with James Haney out there now. No front end on that 55 machine, looking like a modified out here, trying to hang on as he's trying to allow the entire field to get by him as well.
And the 4 of Mike Roman right here riding single file behind the 19 of Patrick Mallet. And behind he does have the 115 Cody Pace, who does have the 25 of Tyler Ducharme. Tyler Ducharme coming out of nowhere. He was involved in an early incident early on. After that, we hadn't seen him in a long time. But now he is here back in the top 10, trying to battle the 115 of Cody Pace for the 9th place spot, while catching the 4 of Mike Roman and the 19 of Patrick Mallet, who are battling side by side as we speak.
Yeah, that's for sure. That 25 machine of Tyler Ducharme has looked good tonight after starting in the 33rd position. Did not even set a qualifying time. Did the driver of the 25, and Tyler, who all season long, he is one of those guys that he can start at the back, work his way to the front, be very, very strong in that SRA Elwood Designs machine. And right now, Tyler looking to continue to move his way to the front, as you said, all over the back end of the 115 of Cody Pace, who is also over the back of the number 4 car of Mike Rominger as they go through turns 3 and 4.
That 25 of Tyler Ducharme did set up the 115 of Cody Pace entering 3. He moved him up the track, but here on the front stretch, the 115 of Pace does propel past him and shuts the door on him entering turn 1. He's not going to leave the door open for him to do it again. And that 115 of Cody Pace has a run on the 4 of Mike Rominger, but it does end up dying on the exit of 2.
Yeah, just not enough momentum right now. Is a little bit further up in front of them. Nick Northrup going to make the pass around the 71 of Colton Davis with ease in turn 3. And up at the front, it's continuing to about to turn into a battle again between the 73 and the 66. Jake Nichols has caught the 66 of Blake Reynolds now for the lead as that group behind them continues to try to get that single file line. Everybody fighting for a position, but Jake is all over the back of the 66 as they head for turn 3.
And further back in the pack here, we have a battle going between the 2 of Richie Evans, or Ethan Kurtz, sorry, and the 6 of Tom Wetmore, but 51-51 here, Richard Davis, or Davis Richards, is trying to get his lap back the hard way, just pretty much now riding. They were battling, but he did seem to have backed off there. So both the two of Ethan Kurtz and the 6 of Wetmore just riding right now, trying their best to not slow it down enough to get lapped.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we know how bad that 6 car must be handling for Tom Wetmore on those old tires. He has still yet to make that pit stop. Ethan Kurtz behind him with quite a bit of damage to the rear end of that 2 machine as he continues to run out there. But back about mid-pack right now. Another driver we have not yet mentioned tonight, Ryan Keese in that 28 machine, that Chick-fil-A Ford. Started in the 30th spot, has worked his way into 12th, and thus far has had a really, really good run. And just in front of him is the 82 of Mike Franklin as well. Both of these guys just knocking on the door to the top 10, trying to get back up there, and both are looking pretty good as well right now.
Oh yeah, they do seem to be catching up to those leaders of the pack in front of them at a very, very fast rate, lap after lap. And right now at 25, Tyler Ducharme did seem to have backed off the 115 of Cody Pace to just ride for now. Most likely having the same strategy as the 66 of Blake Reynolds, who did take over the race lead here. Just trying to set up the 115 of Pace for the long run. And speaking of the 66 of Blake Reynolds, he does have the 73 of Jake Nichols trying to take back the lead. That was rightfully his.
That is for sure. These two are side by side as you go into turn 1. Jake Nichols trying to make that number 73 OSR Network machine work on the bottom underneath Blake Reynolds. Now we've seen the outside be able to have the momentum. Is Jake going to be able to have his tires hold up long enough trying to run that bottom though? Because we know once these tires go away, these things become a handful as they get tighter and tighter as the run goes on.
Oh yeah, and they now have 15 laps on their tires. These are 15 lap old tires, and they are now catching up to the back of the pack, the back of the field. They have the 55 of James Haney here, who is off the pace. He most likely will stay high, let these guys by.
And it doesn't look like he called it, and that was a close one there as the 66 caught up to him in such a fast closing rate. I don't think they expected the 55 to stay high with that being the momentum lane, but good of James at least to stay in one lane, despite the fact that he may not have been given, or may not have had enough time to realize or call out the fact that he was going to try to stay high. But these leaders and everybody else doing a fantastic job to get around him, and it's continued to shake up the field though as the 66 and the 73 had to make a bit of an evasive move there. The 71 of Colton Davis is now starting to catch up to the back end of the 73.
That's one thing about this 71 of Colton Davis was most likely hoping for the worst for both the drivers, Jake Nichols and Blake Reynolds, and he did get just that. Because of that, he was able to gain some time against them, and so far continues to gain. He is catching 73 of Jake Nichols here on the backstretch, but behind him is 54 of Nick Northrop, who has he doesn't have anything to worry about, so having a Sunday drive behind Colton Davis.
Yeah, that is very true. And right now as well, the 19 of Patrick Mallett been up in the top 10 all night long, and that number 19 Dead Zone Racing machine running in the 5th spot now. He is also now trying to catch up to the back of Nick Northrup and get himself involved in that battle for the lead, which has now become a 3-car battle as Colton Davis has caught up to the back end of the 73 of Jake Nichols.
It's only a matter of time before he starts making moves. It makes me wonder if he's gonna make moves against them, or maybe just right behind them to try and separate him and everybody else, or separate him and the drivers in front of him ahead be against everybody else behind, because that's when they usually do it. I mean, that's how most drivers like to do it. They ride together, they pull away from the rest of the pack, and then battle up there a safe distance away, about maybe 2 to 3 seconds.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. And last night in that race that we saw with the Xfinity cars, it looked as though the draft was playing into effect for those Xfinity cars. I don't anticipate that the same could be said necessarily for these Cup cars, but right now up at the front we do have the battle here. The 71 Colton Davis going to make easy work almost of the 73 of Jake Nichols, as the 71 of Colton Davis is on a rail right now in that number 71 Toyota.
I'm actually surprised that Colton Davis was able to make the pass against the 73 of Jake Nichols and not lose any time whatsoever. That's bad news for Blake Reynolds. He just might be a sitting duck.
Yeah, absolutely. That 66 is looking right now, as he just said, a sitting duck compared to the 71, who's just right now, he's got that thing firing on all 8 cylinders perfectly as Colton continues to get closer and closer to the back of the 66 car. And Jake Nichols actually looks like he's falling off a little bit, may eventually here in a couple of laps fall back into the clutches of the 54 of Nick Northrup.
But further back in the pack, we have the 5 of Alan Elwood here trying to catch his next victim, the 19 of Patrick Mallet. But so far, it doesn't seem to having any luck and actually losing some time against him here. And the further away he gets, the further away he is in the draft, and the less effective it will be. That's 25 of Tyler Ducharme here trying to hold up the 4 of Mike Rominger for the 8th place spot.
Yeah, they are battling back there for 8th, but right now Colton Davis got a big run out of turn 2. He is to the inside of the 66 of Blake Reynolds. It is the battle for the lead, and the caution is out.
Oh, looks like the 8 of Brian Johnson was involved in that. And I see who else might have been involved in that. Look, oh, also the 19, so that's the 88 of John Hilston. So if you would, Joe, there, we'll hand it over to you, and you can focus on the 88 of John Hilston there on the replay.
Yeah, just want to find right here John Houston here on our thing. Unfortunate night for him, not having the night he wants. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, this is some extremely awesome racing. As we go on the replay back here, we go a little bit further, got the tail end of it right there. But man, this is some awesome racing. I've been watching this stuff and listening to y'all call this action out here, man. It's I'll tell you, it's fast and furious here under the lights at Charlotte Motor Speedway. At AC Delco Spark Plug machine up there is near Brian Johnson. That's number 8 Mountain Dew Soda Can machine. Got Cameron Hearn behind him. Was watching a replay here. Kind of going to see what happens. You know, these cars, man, they looks like they suck up on the back end of each other very quick. Look, Brian, he got, I don't know what happened, man. He got way loose, went down the apron, came back up. Just unfortunate, man. The 88, wrong place, wrong time. Victim of circumstance. I don't know if something happened to the 8 car, because he took a hard, sharp left-hand turn off to the apron, and it almost looked like, you know, we've seen it before, Ryan. Cars like that do moves like that, something usually happens with a connection or something happens with their equipment, because, man, the way he made that violent move Brian Johnson did, it looked like it was just one of those, and then it just came back up on the track with no control. So we've seen it in the past happen that way. But again, guys, man, it's an awesome race so far, and again, I'm just sitting over here, man, listening to y'all commentate, doing a good job.
Oh, we do appreciate that, Joe. Definitely some fun stuff out here. That was a very, very good run. And Ryan, the driver who was very happy, most likely very happy to see that caution, or this caution, the 6 of Tom Wetmore, who was going to be a sitting duck in the long run.
Yeah, that run went on for a very long time, and we know that the 6 of Tom Wetmore was on older tires, but in retrospect, Tom was able to keep that car. As right now, they have not crossed the line yet, so my positioning may be a little bit off, but I've got Tom Wetmore scored in the 22nd spot. So he was at the end of the lead lap, but right now they're going to cross the line, try to get a look at where he may fall in. He's up to the 19th spot now. But Tom Wetmore, you're right, going to be so very happy, I'm sure, that that caution finally came out, able to get 4 fresh tires on that 6 machine and try to get his way back into this race here. As we're, you know, currently on lap 86. Only going to lap 86 of 175 to go, so we're getting down here to where it's going to be getting close to trying to make up your mind of, you know, is it time to start working your way to the front? What strategy do we have to pull to try to get there? And all sorts of other things to try to put yourself in a position to win this race.
Oh, absolutely. And the good thing about having that run like that is that these drivers now know each other's weaknesses. Like, for example, the 60s of Blake Reynolds was able to, in the long run, get the weakness of the 73 of Jake Nichols, and Colton Davis did the exact same thing.
Yeah, these guys are, you know, working really hard to try to keep these machines up there right now. And just some other guys here trying to get a look through the field. Maybe some guys we haven't mentioned tonight. One of them, absolutely for sure, that we have not mentioned at all. The number 38 of Mason Wetzel in the Haviland Ford out there, similar to the Davey Allison throwback almost, kind of in that 38 machine started in 31st spot, currently sitting in 14th. Mason just kind of flying under the radar tonight. He's back there running side by side with another driver we haven't talked about since really the start of the race, Tyler Sifford, who has been playing catch up ever since that early wreck that he was involved in. But Tyler Sifford also in that pit crew university machine, finally back up to the 13th spot. So some of these guys, like those two in particular, may be two we may need to consider at some point, maybe for a top 5 finish here if they can keep working their way up to the front.
Oh, most definitely. And also 51 of Tyler Laughlin here, keeping a low profile, but he is still here, starting 32nd. Once again, currently in the 11th place position. And we are now back 1 to green this time by the 60s of Blake Reynolds in the lead with help of 73 of Jake Nichols. On the outside is 71 of Colton Davis and the 54 of Nick Northrop right behind him.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see right now as Blake Reynolds is going to be ready here. The pace car is going to take that hard left turn on the pit road, and Blake is going to go the second that pace car drops, catches everybody off guard. The 71 really caught sleeping there, and Jake Nichols already going to be looking to try to get clear of the 71 by the time they get to turn 1.
And he does it so successfully here, and 71 of Colton Davis will fall in line there to try and get the drop from 73 of Jake Nichols off the exit of turn 2, and behind the 34 of Delonte Ballard dropping off 25 of Tyler Ducharme.
Yeah, these guys all battling. You just mentioned it. 34 of Delonte Ballard. He's been hanging around the top 10 all night long, running right up there as well, trying to keep it rolling here as he is behind his teammate in the 25 of Tyler Ducharme, who is working to the inside of the 19 of Patrick Mallet, and just in front of them as well. You can't forget that 54 as well is another SRA driver. This field is stacked full of them, so plenty of SRA motorsports drivers running up here at the front right now.
And the 71 of Colton Davis does get freight trained on the outside line, but he does successfully hold off the 25 of Tyler Ducharme on the front stretch, entering turn number 1. But the 25 of Ducharme does drive it in hard, makes the pass successfully, clears him. And now his next victim will be the 54 of Nick Northrop. But they both most likely will just ride single file to catch up Blake Reynolds at 66.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Jake Nichols has retaken the lead past the 66 of Blake Reynolds, and I think Blake is going to probably have to fall into the strategy he had earlier on, wait for Jake to maybe burn up his tires, because to me it certainly seemed like as the run went on, that 73 machine started to fade a little bit, and that is something we're not used to seeing with Jake Nichols, but it may just be an aspect of how tight this car is tonight, may just not be playing into his favor, as the 54 has told the 25, his teammate, to pass to the inside, and the caution is out. A huge pile up as they enter turn 3.
On the 82 of Mike Franklin, heavy smoke from the rear end. And also the 115 of Cody Pace was involved in that as well.
Yeah, I've yet to see where that all started. You said the 82 of Mike Franklin was involved?
No, correct. And the 115 of Cody Pace. Looks like it started with the 115 of Cody Pace and the 28 of Mason Witzel. Actually, it's going to be 28. I'm trying to get a name on that. The 28 of Ryan Keese.
Yes, sir. And we'll throw it to Joe White for the caution replay.
Yeah, going back on the caution here, just see what happens. Yeah, I think it started all right there. Like I said, with the 115 was heavily involved. Cody Pace definitely doing good. Got that Wrangler, man, a machine out there. Looking awesome so far. These guys were in a single file freight train coming out of turn 4 here. We're going to watch it from the grandstand view, kind of give us a wide angle here. So watching that 115 might have been happening in front of them because a couple cars there were side by side, door to door as they head off into turn 1. I almost went 3 wide there. Hey, Cody got a little loose. Car behind him, just, I don't know, maybe some net code there. Unfortunate, the thing about it here, guys, when that happens with one car, well, you know and I know, that thing, the track just closes up like a door, and there's nowhere to go, nothing you can do. I mean, you're running speeds of, what, 180 mile an hour here, probably 190. Reactions, you know, hey, I'm an old guy. My reactions ain't that good.
Yeah, that's for sure. The reaction times of these guys, though, for some of them has been spot on tonight. A couple of these guys being able to avoid these wrecks. But like you said, Joe, nothing anybody could do once the track got blocked there, unfortunately. And right now, I'm actually wondering if maybe, since we're under caution, we have a little bit of time, maybe we should try to get an interview with the driver, the number 25, Tyler Ducharme. as these guys continue to roll around, we are going to wait here. Tyler Ducharme is in our staging room. Tyler Ducharme, this is Ryan Daniels in the OSR Network booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, 10-4.
Well, Tyler, you started 33rd. We saw you running as high up in the 3rd position there, looking really strong in that 25 machine. Do you think you have the car underneath you to be able to take this win?
I think I do. I just got to get the track position. Car's been real fast. We had that one wreck earlier when I got ran over, but other than that, car's been pretty good. It's kind of, I don't know, the way these guys are driving is kind of ridiculous. Hopefully, it's not as bad towards the end here. I think I can get up there and race against Jake, but I don't know. I don't know what to expect, man. Who knows? We got guys on 2 tires up here that haven't been up front the whole race, so we'll see.
All right, well, we wish you luck the rest of the way there, Tyler, and hopefully you'll be able to get that 25 in victory lane, and if not, we hope to still get a talk with you there at the end of lap 175.
10-4, buddy. Thanks.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
Can I get moved to the...
And that was 25 of Tyler Ducharme, currently moving up to the 6th place position. And we have a new driver here to the top 3, the 13 of Matt Hoover, starting 21st and currently 3rd.
Yeah, as Tyler Ducharme there said, a couple of these guys look like they may have taken 2 tires or stayed out. The 2-tire drivers have to be, at least one of them has to be the 7 car of Tyler Sifford, who has not been up there yet tonight, really up at the front since the drop of the green flag. The 13 of Matt Hoover up there in 3rd, as you just mentioned, and the 51 of Tyler Laughlin is still up there, but everybody else appears to at least be on 4 tires, and to be honest, the 73 of Jake Nichols, I can't confirm this, but he may have also taken 2, given that he had been running with the 54 and 25 and is still out in front of these other drivers here that took 2.
Oh, and Ryan, just a little bit of a correction right here. Looking at my stats, the top 3 drivers, Jake Nichols, Tyler Sifford, and Matt Hoover, these drivers stayed out. So they have 11 laps on their tires, but the whole field has pitted in. So at this point, they do have 8 laps more on their tires.
Okay, thank you for that. I do appreciate it. I had not seen that they did not pit, so thank you. So the first car on tires of any kind then would be the 51 of Tyler Laughlin, and everybody else behind them is on 4. So it'll be different to see here. We knew Jake was having some trouble at the over the course of the run, hanging on to that 73. Hopefully he'll be able to keep it out in front here, and these guys on older tires will be able to keep up.
Oh yeah, they just might be sitting duck, so it might work out in their favor. Fingers crossed for the drivers. The pace car does dip off. The 73 of Jake puts it down the floor. Big checkup. They almost rammed each other. But right now, Jake Nichols does propel past everybody. 7 of Tyler Sifford on the inside, actually behind him. In 2nd place, 51 of Tyler Laughlin benefits from that. In 3rd place, Tyler Ducharme 4th. 13 of Matt Hoover. That restart was jacked.
Yeah, the 13 looks like he may have spun his tires a little bit, jacked up that inside line. A good job by everybody not to make that one of those accordion effect crashes. But right now, that 25 machine on those 4 tires is all over the back of the 51 as he actually scrapes the wall coming out of turn 4 there. Keeps it going. The 25 looking strong right now, trying to work his way around the 51 of Tyler Laughlin and the 7 of Tyler Sifford, as the 13 of Matt Hoover on those older tires is not going the way. He still stays in the 5th spot, but he's got Nick Northrup in the 54 and the 34 of Delonte Ballard not too far behind him.
And further back behind them, the 19 of Patrick Mallet here battling the 71 of Carlton Davis, who did stay high. He was able to clear him. And that 4 of Mike Roman. And we'll follow the 19 of Patrick Mallet's line on the inside there to get past the 71 of Carlton Davis. They do so successfully. Right now, Carlton Davis fading away, trying his best to get a grip.
Yeah, he is Colton Davis fighting up there, trying to get that spot, and he is successfully, or he was passed there successfully by the 4 and the 19 of Patrick Mallet, and he's going to fall back, and now Mason Wetzel is going to try to get around the 71 of Colton Davis, but up in front of them, these guys still fighting for position. The 25 of Tyler Ducharme making it work on the top right now, around the outside of the 7 car of Tyler Sifford, and down the back straightaway. Those 2 tires appear to be working for the 51 of Tyler Laughlin as he's starting to run down the 73 of Jake Nichols, and the 25 still running down the 51 and 73 as Tyler has put himself into 3rd spot.
Right behind 54 of Nick Northrop, not in the clear just yet. He drifts high, and that allows the 19 of Patrick Meyer to look to his inside. But then entering turn 2, the 54 of Nick was able to close the door and exiting turn number 2 there. He was successfully clear of the 19 of Patrick Meyer, who had to back off because he backed off. The gap in between them did increase, and up in front, the 54, that's the 34 of Jalonte battled in 13, battle side, but the 13 almost taps the wall, but he was able to stay off it. That's the 13 of Matt Uber.
Yeah, these guys starting to get a little bit more single file up at the front of the field here as we now have 75 laps to go. And these guys, it's starting to get to that point. We mentioned it earlier. It's almost go time here. These guys got to start considering getting to the front as quick as they can. Try to get all the spots you can now. And looking further back in the field, we got a battle between the 00 and the 9 car of Aiden Young. Nick Hunt looking to the inside of Aiden, but Aiden's going to get a good runner on the outside and make that pass. And now the 87 of Keith Haney's going to look to the inside of the 00 as they enter turn 1.
And speaking of Nick Hunt, his machine has seen some better days. He has had some bad luck in tonight's race, but he is still going nice and strong with that damage. Despite the damage, he has the 87 of Keith Haney behind him, and Keith Haney will look to his inside for position.
Yeah, Keith Haney's looking good right now on that 87 HBR machine, and that Haney Brothers Racing 87 has looked good tonight. We saw Keith be really strong last night as well. So if there was a driver who would like to start to work his way through the field, Keith has got to be one of the contenders here to consider that, you know, he may have been just taking it easy early on in this race after being involved in a couple of accidents, but right now that 87 is looking strong as he's trying to work his way into the top 15.
Oh yeah, his next victim is the 9 of Aiden Young here for that 15th place spot. And also looking for the back in the pack, the 6 of Wetmore trying to set up the 151 of Davis. Richards looks to his inside on the front stretch, and in the front stretch, and we turn 1-2 here. And he just might make the pass successfully. Up the 151, Davis puts it down the floor. He will match him up the exit of 2.
Yeah, these two are going to be side by side out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. The 6 of Tom Wetmore still to the inside. And the 51, and we've got a crash up ahead. It's the 28. Or no, I'm sorry, it's the 71 of Ryan Keys, and the 6 and the 51 are going to get involved, and so did Cody Pace at the end of that crash. A huge wreck in turn 3.
Oh man, very, very unfortunate. We're going to pass it over to Joe White with the replay. Now look at the 00 of Nick Hunt. Actually, not the 00, but it all started with the 71 of Colton Davis. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure did right there. But we were watching that battle right there, the 151 of Davis Richards also that I was talking about. And it was up underneath there with Tom Wetmore and company, and it just started right in front of him. No place to go. They went high. Oh, yeah, Tom got clipped down low. 151 when he came up the track. It's just like it's a door, man. It's wide open, and the next thing you know, bam, somebody slams it right in your face. And there's nothing that you can do, man, unless you just, unless you just want to drive through the door. But, yeah, you got a 3,400-pound rocket machine out here at Charlotte. And sometimes trying to do that, you're going to bang that thing up. So, guys, again, under caution here, like y'all said, lap 105 and 175 here tonight. It has been a thriller to listen to y'all, man, call this one, and the action on this track, man, and the viewers out here have loved each and every minute of it. I would love to listen to it. Guys, back to you.
Well, we thank you, Joe, for that replay there of the accident there. And you're right, definitely unfortunate for everybody involved, especially the 6 of Tom Wetmore, who was, you know, really trying his hardest to get through that wreck. Just nowhere to go, just barely got clipped as the 71 was spinning down the track, and that ended up involving both Tom and the 151 of Davis Richards there. But looking at the guys who just came into the pit lane, looks like the 25 car of Tyler Ducharme may have taken 2 tires. The 73 of Jake Nichols took 4, and a guy that we talked about staying out under that last caution, Sean, has worked his way, stayed up at the front. The 7 of Tyler Sifford now has gone from being outside the top 15, now back inside the top 5. 4 brand new tires on that 7 car. He has put himself right up in contention here with what's going to be, just under, right around 68 laps to go.
Absolutely, very, very nice spot and nice strategy by the 7 of Tyler Sifford there. It just makes me wonder, because we haven't seen Sifford go against Jake Nichols at all tonight, and that 25 of Tyler Ducharme taking over that race lead. So it just makes me wonder what 73 of Jake Nichols has in store for these guys. But yeah, just like we talked about early on, actually you did point this out, Ryan, how the 73 of Jake Nichols seems to be fading away in the longer run, and he does seem to be a victim of that. and loses his time every single time, and he is getting freight trained every now and then. So it's gonna be interesting to see exactly what happens with 25 with Tyler Ducharme taking over the race lead, and something tells me he won't give it up easily.
Yeah, no, we've seen how Tyler Ducharme can be really aggressive when he's out in front, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. That 25 will fight tooth and nail to keep that lead now that he has it. And Jake is not going to, it's not going to be an easy task for the 73 or the 7 to work their way around this 25 if Tyler can do anything about it. But definitely a different shakeup now in the top 5 as well. We also have Delonte Ballard, who has worked his way up to the 4th spot in that 34 OSR Network machine. A couple of OSR Network machines out here tonight. And just want to give an update to the fans at home. The 71 of Colton Davis, the 88 of John Houston, Tom Wetmore, and a few others have disconnected from the race. So it leaves us right now, I'm going to say basically everybody from Cody Pace on up, which is the 26th spot, are still in the event. Everybody else behind them is likely out of the race with terminal damage.
And Ryan, speaking of the 34 of Delonte Ballard, who you touched on there a couple of times, this driver, we have seen him battling. We haven't seen him battling too much. He doesn't really push it that hard, but he's still being able to keep up to pace and still being able to be in the top 5 as we speak, starting 34th, currently 4th, gaining 30 spots this far. And now we are back 1 to green the leader. 25, Tyler Ducharme decides to start on the outside. Goes back down to bottom. 73 of Jake Nichols will take over the outside line with the 7 of Tyler Sifford behind.
Yeah, very true. And Joe likes to call Delonte Ballard the showstopper, and right now he's looking to put on a show-stopping performance here as he's going to be running up the front with Superman, Mr. Popularity, and not too far behind them as well. A few other names that have been up at the front all night long. Blake Reynolds really going to have to work hard here on this restart as the pace car is in, and the 25 Tyler Ducharme gets a good start. Caught Jake Nichols on the outside sweeping. Those 2 SRA teammates on the inside going to thunder pass the 2 Solar Flare Racing teammates on the outside there. And Tyler Ducharme is going to be here later with Delonte Ballard now up to 2nd.
And for the back in the pack, the 87 of Keith Haney here on the exit of turn 2 propels past the 00 of Nick Hunt while pulling the 82 of Mike Franklin with him. And Mike Franklin right now clears the 00 of Nick Hunt, and Nick Hunt still doing an amazing job despite that damage, trying to counter it the best he can with the use of the draft. And going back up around the 72 of Jake Nichols, trying to set up the 34 of Delonte Ballard.
Yeah, this is true right now. Delonte Ballard still riding in 2nd there as looks like Tyler Sifford's actually starting to want to apply some pressure to his former teammate. I did make a mistake there. The 73 and 7 are used to be teammates. They are still very good friends, and they still race together on here, ExtremeMotorsports99.com. But Jake Nichols in the Solar Flare Racing 73 and the Jake Nichols Racing number 7 of Tyler Sifford running now back in the 5th spot as Jake looking to the inside of Delonte Ballard as they come out of turn 2. Delonte Ballard battling hard on the outside.
Jake Nichols just might have him. 25 of Tyler Ducharme here was caught here entering turn 3, but off turn 4 he just propels. He goes back high to help the 34 of Delonte Ballard entering turn 1, but he has to defend his position on the inside. He does shut the door on 73 of Jake Nichols.
Yeah, that is the case there. Tyler Ducharme going to take over the bottom lane there, trying to stop the momentum of the 73 of Jake Nichols. And now the 54 of Nick Northrup also working up there in the 7 car of Tyler Sifford fighting back on the inside as well. It's a real big gaggle of cars up here in the top 5 right now as you have the SRA Motorsports team versus Zero Gravity and Solar Flare Racing of the 73 and the 7 car. Jake Nichols is now looking to the inside of Tyler Ducharme as they come out of turn 2. Jake may have a short run car here, may be able to get around that 25 and start trying to get away from him. But he's going to definitely have to hold up the fight here as the 34 and 54 are both catching the back of them as well.
Oh yeah, 25 Tyler Ducharme here making the outside lines. Jake, that 54 of Nick Northrup will follow him there. As I throw of Jake Nichols still on the inside. They still hold neck to neck on the exit of 225. Ducharme just might get the slingshot. Yes, he does. And is he going to have enough to clear the 73 of Nichols before turn 3? Yes, he does, but not for long.
Yeah, not too far behind this top 5 battle right here. These top 5 all under a blanket right now. But another guy closing back in to try to get this lead back is the 66 of Blake Reynolds, and following behind him is the 4 car of Mike Rominger, who has also been up there all night long. These guys loving what they're seeing in front of them, because all this battling just means they're going to get their opportunity to put their name into the hat and try to get up here and take the lead as well.
Oh, absolutely. And so far, everybody seems to be trying to make the outside line going. The 34 of Delonte Ballard, Nick Northrup, and the 25 of Ducharme, but the 54 dumps the 25 of Ducharme on the outside line, and it's going to go to the inside of the 73 of Jake Nichols, who takes over the race lead here on lap number 116. And Jake Nichols just might try his best to put some distance here. They're catching up to a lap car getting off pit road. That's the 8 of Brian Johnson, who stays on the apron to let them by.
Yeah, classy move there by Brian Johnson to give these guys room as the leaders were coming by. But you're right, Jake Nichols takes the lead, and now those 3 SRA teammates, the 54, 25, and 34, have lined up behind him there. They're going to try to make another run at it sooner or later here, but just behind the 34, still applying a lot of pressure to him, is that 7 car of Tyler Sifford, Mr. Popularity, not giving up. And to his outside right now, Blake Reynolds in the 66 has now worked his way back into the top 5 as he's trying to make the pass on the 7 of Tyler Sifford.
Yeah, Blake Reynolds does have a driver approaching behind. It's going to be the 5 of Alan Elwood here. Alan Elwood riding both lanes, trying to figure out the move to make against the drivers. And Blake gets way too close to the wall entering turn 1. He did smack it a little bit, but not enough to do too much damage to that machine. And that 5 of Elwood looks to the inside of the 7 of Tyler Sifford here on the backstretch. Yeah,
another guy we haven't really talked about tonight, Alan J. Elwood, last year's Xfinity Series champion, working hard in that number 5 machine, making it stick on the bottom right now. He's looking good as well as he's trying to get up here to the top 5, fighting, as you said, to the inside of the 7 of Tyler Sifford, and the 34 of Delonte Ballard still fighting to the outside of the 66 of Blake Reynolds, who just right now appears to be on a rail. Blake is just chipping his way through the top 5 right now up to the 4th spot behind the 25 of Tyler Ducharme as they go into turn 3.
Entering turn 360, Blake Reynolds had to back off. He did get a big run on the 25 of Tyler Ducharme, and also the 34 of Delonte Ballard had to back off to avoid getting in trouble, causing trouble on the 25 of Ducharme here, trying his best to catch the 54 of Nick Northrup, but so far having no luck. Well, by the looks of it here, Brian, the 25 of Ducharme might have burned up his stuff trying to defend.
Yeah, that's for sure, and that 25, I do believe, may have been on 2 tires, so he is still hanging tough up there in the 3rd spot, but obviously right now, as you said, may have burned his stuff up trying to maintain that lead away from Jake, and is now starting to look like he's getting freight trained by everybody else, and maybe even holding up his teammate in the 34, because Delonte Ballard has been committed to the back end of that 25 since the restart, unable to do anything with him. And now Alan J. Elwood going to look to the inside of the 34, and the 4 car of Mike Rominger going to follow suit. Those 2 teammates looking to the inside of these guys as they go through turn 3 and 4.
And I like how the 7 of Tyler Sifford decides to follow the 34 of Delonte Ballard to get the outside line going. They just might have enough time to make it work. But so far, the 4 of Mike Rominger, the 19 of Patrick Mallet, trying to freight train them here. So they will lose a lot of time before they gain any. If they do end up gaining any time, they're trying to get a run on the drivers in front of them. But so far, having no luck, the 34 of Delonte has no choice but to fall back in line to avoid losing more spots. And he does leave the 7 of Tyler Sifford out to dry, and the Sifford will fall back in line behind the 19 of Patrick Mallet. The 34 of Delonte Ballard left out high and dry on the outside.
Yeah, strangely enough, it's looking right now that inside line is becoming more and more effective as the race goes on. That outside line early on was the place to be, maybe because the track didn't have as much rubber up there and it was more grip. Now that it's starting to even out, the inside line is coming back again, because we're seeing that 5 and the 4 making a lot of ground up on the bottom each and every time these guys go into a corner, bearing in mind that the 5 of Alan J. Elwood and the 4 of Mike Rominger are teammates at the Alliance Racing Group, but these boys are working hard to get both those cars in the top 5, and obviously we can't count out the 19 there. He's still stayed within a shout of it. Patrick Mallet been in the top 10 all night. We keep bringing him up because he's just sticking around up there. Patrick running right now in the 7th spot, falling behind the 25 of Tyler Ducharme as they go into turn 3.
And because they were side by side, they were losing a lot of time. They have lost a lot of time to the top 3 drivers, Blake Reynolds, Nick Northrup, and Jake Nichols. Last time we checked, they were less than a second of each other, but now it has gone up to 2.2 seconds. So the more these guys battle, the more those top 3 drivers pull away, and the more those top 3 drivers smile. because that's less work for them.
Exactly, and that's very true. And right now, the 8 car of Brian Johnson, we talked about him giving these guys room earlier. He is on much fresher tires coming out of the pit lane. He is working hard to try to get his lap back the hard way, as he's going to work his way around the 25 of Tyler Ducharme and the 4 of Mike Rominger. Now, when the 8 pushed the 25 up, trying to get around him, the 19 was able to make the pass on the 25, and now it has kind of split up those battles that were going on with that 8 car working his way through this field, as he is now behind the 5 of Alan Elwood.
Yep, trying to figure out a way to set him up here, but he will make pass successfully in the outside line. We had talked about it. He does have newer tires. He does have more grip. He made it stick. He made the pass successfully. No harm done there. And now his next victim is going to be the 54 of Nick Northrup. And by the looks of it, the 8 of Brian Johnson has about 1.8 seconds between him and the leader.
Yeah, and further back in the field, we do have a spinner. It was the 13 of Matt Hoover, able to keep it off the track. They're not sure what happened, but Matt able to lock it down and keep it off the racetrack. No caution. These guys continue to battle. And we mentioned one driver earlier. We've actually mentioned both these guys as they're racing side by side. Keith Haney in the 87 and Ryan Keese in the 28. They are sitting in 10th and 11th right now out on this racetrack, and they are continuing to work their way to the front. Keith Haney last night put in a stellar performance and came up just a little bit short when the 8 car Brian Johnson's came in and got tires on that last restart that they had in the Xfinity race. Keith Haney maybe putting himself into the spot to try to pick up not just his first win in the Cup Series, but his first win at ExtremeMotorsports99.com. And how special would it be to come here in the Cup Series and get it done if he is in fact able to do so?
Oh, absolutely. That's definitely enough motivation for the 87 of Keith Haney to pull it off. And right now, he does have a lot of problems, a lot of drivers to get around. He's behind the 34 of Delonte Ballard. He does seem to be stuck behind Delonte Ballard, and he does seem to be faster. But the 28 on the outside, Ryan Keese will prepare with the 51 of Tyler Laughlin on his rear end. Holy cow.
Yeah, Tyler Laughlin, where did he come from? He's been, hanging out at the back as well all night long. Tyler Laughlin now put himself into the 11th spot, trying to push Ryan Keese past that slower 34 car who may have, as you said earlier, burned up some of his stuff. And there's a lot of different guys right now trying to work their way into the top 10 that we haven't talked about all night long. Cameron Hearn back here, as is the 38 of Mason Wetzel. We keep talking about, we got a spinner. It's the 28 off the front end of the 51. Looks like he might have got a tag. Able to keep it up in the wall. Good move by the 28, but he is not going to be happy on that one. Nothing he can do. Looks like he may have had to lift, and the 51 just got into the back of him a bit there.
Very unfortunate for the 28 of Ryan Keese. Indeed, he did go nose first into the wall and somehow was able to keep it under control and out of traffic. Definitely a great job on his part. And at this point right now, Ryan, we do have 27 laps on our tires. Well, the leaders do have 27 laps on their tires. So it makes me wonder when the pit cycle kicks in, because we do have a 75% fuel limit. So something tells me, since they haven't put it in as we speak, the pit window might be between laps 30 through 35.
Yeah, you're right. We are under kind of a long green flag run, as right now Jake Nichols is catching some lap traffic. It looks like the 8 car, Brian Johnson, was able to work his way around the leaders and get that lap back. The 55 of James Haney running low right now, trying to stay out of the way of the leaders in that 55 that's all torn up in the front. But the 66 of Blake Reynolds has retaken the 2nd spot and is now running down the 73 of Jake Nichols in quite a hurry. That 66 to me, Sean, if it stays with these long green flag runs and that 66 can ever restart up in the front here, he may have the car to beat.
That's absolutely right. I was going to talk about that. Yeah, we did see the last long green flag run that we had before lap 100. Yeah, Blake Reynolds was able to pounce on the 73 of Jake Nichols in the long run, and at this point they have now found each other. So it's now the 73 of Jake Nichols' worst nightmare. Let's see what happens here between these two.
Yeah, that is for sure. The 66 is starting to catch him. He's going to look at the inside as they go down the front straightaway. Blake Reynolds may be able to make this pass fairly easily going into turn 1, and he does. Jake's going to give him room on the outside. Going to let the 66, who is, obviously catching him so quickly, much faster right now in the 66. Blake Reynolds is going to retake the lead here as they go down the back straightaway. And we talked about it a few times. Jake's car just not able to last as his tires get older and older. Jake is going to really need to hope that perhaps this race has a caution late and that he's able to stay out in front.
Oh, absolutely. And so far, he has been doing an amazing job staying up front here within the top 3 for the most part, and trying his best to keep in the drop of success of Blake Reynolds before the next round of green flag pit stops kick in, on the first round of green flag pit stops, because now the drivers have 31 laps on their tires. So maybe here in the next 3 to 4 laps, we should see some pit stops kicking in. We have Ryan Keys on pit road. We do have Colton Davis, John Hilson, but these guys I believe were out. We have a first round of green flag pit stops with Cameron Hearn pitting in this time by with 30 laps on his tires.
Yeah, Cameron Hearn, you're right, has come into pit lane. Looks like he's going to try the short pit strategy here. Remembering this is a 175 lap race. We are at lap 137, so it isn't without chance here that if we were to get another caution, the 67 could probably make it to the end here. And now Ethan Kurtz looks like he's about to hit pit lane, and a few others. So these guys are all coming in. Some of these guys further in the back going to try the short pit strategy and hope that they can make it last to the end.
Oh yeah, the leaders right now most likely trying to run those tanks dry. They can be able to secure themselves until the very end. But the drivers who pitted in so far, Cameron Hearn pitted in with about 30 laps on his tires, and we now have 38 laps remaining. So it makes me wonder whether or not the leaders can go 8 more laps until they need to pit in.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, but the 4 of Mike Rominger on pit road, the 34 of Delonte Ballard also down here right now. The 2 of Ethan Kurtz rejoins the field as well. And actually, Ethan Kurtz has stayed on pit road. He may have gotten a speeding penalty. That too is now just leaving the pit lane.
Most likely would have been the case. That is way too much time spent on pit road. And Mike Rominger, still on pit road as we speak. 73 Jake Nichols still putting down more laps. Now has 35 laps on his tires with the leader, the 66 of Blake Reynolds, who does seem to be pulling away from the 73 of Jake Nichols every single lap.
Yeah, and that is the case right now. Blake Reynolds has continued to put time on the 73. And some of these guys, as we said, short pitting here early. And the 66 is going to make a late dive to come in the pits. That is, wow. If he did not get a speeding penalty in that 66 machine, that is going to be stellar, because the 66 made a great move to get to pit lane there and hang on to that machine. And Blake Reynolds was the first real leader now to hit that pit lane. But it'll be interesting to see here if he did, in fact, get a penalty.
And look at it right now. I did look at it on my replay on my end here, and Ryan, he surprisingly did not. I mean, he was able to slow it down in time. He went down to 50 miles an hour, which is pit speed limit, crossing the line, and he is now rolling out of the pits as we speak.
That is amazing. And the 26 of Devin Smirker, who is a number of laps down, is also now on pit road. But the 66 has just maybe put himself in a great spot, because that's going to make it now. Jake Nichols has to come in this time by, and he is. He has just came over the radio. He is pitting this time. Looks like the 5 of Alan Elwood may be pitting. And it'll be interesting to see if the 54 of Nick Northrup also pits. And it looks like he is slowing down to follow them in. A lot of these leaders now know, now that the 66 has pit, he has to come in.
But Mike Franklin decides to stay out another lap, and that gives him 38 laps on his tires. And he does take over the race lead here on lap number 143. He is catching up to the 115 of Cody Pace, who is 17 laps down, some heavy damage. And Cody Pace will stay high to let him by. No harm done there.
Yeah, absolutely. The 82 of Mike Franklin staying out here, going to lead a lap, and it looks like he's about to hit pit lane. Keith Haney looks like he's about to hit pit lane as well, and that is basically going to cycle us through. The 21 of David Elliott is still out on the racetrack. He is going to lead a lap here, it looks like. David has now led one, and I believe he is the last car to not come in. The only other one that is still out there right now is the 151 of Davis Richards. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out with the race lead here, as right now it is between Jake Nichols and, or will be between Jake Nichols and the 66 of Blake Reynolds, I do believe.
And we also have a new driver here at the top 10, the 67 of Cameron Hearn, I should say. A new driver back in the top 10. That's going to be Cameron Hearn here, trying to make up as much time as he can. He has already pitted in, but the top 3 drivers, like you talked about, David Elliott, Davis Richards, and Daniel Haney, still do need to go down pit road. Daniel Haney having the most laps on his tires right now with 40 laps. and counting. So it's only a matter of time before he starts losing time. He's actually losing time as we speak to the previous leaders. That's going to be Blake Reynolds. And oh, Cameron Hearn taps the apron, gets loose off turn 2. That was almost ugly for him, but he was able to hang on to it.
Yeah, that is for sure, and it's now a 3-car battle for the lead, and it's a different leader, as you just said, or it will be a new leader once these guys cycle through. The 67 out in front with the 25 behind him, and Blake Reynolds in third, and Blake has a huge gap back to Matt Hoover, who is going to be battling with the 4 of Mike Rominger, and the 73 of Jake Nichols has dropped all the way back to the 9th spot right now. He will probably cycle out in right about the 7th position or so. All the rest of the drivers in the top 5 do, in fact, pit.
And for the back in the pack here, Ryan, we have the 5 Alan Airwood and 54 by Nick Northrup. These guys are working together, trying their best to catch up to their next victims: Jake Nichols, Mike Rominger, Matt Hoover, David Elliott, and also Davis Richards. Actually, looks like he just cycled out. So Nick Northrup, Matt Hoover, Jake Nichols, Mike Rominger, Blake Reynolds, and Tyler Ducharme, and now they are battling.
Yeah, that's for sure, and I'm trying to go based on the number 81 of Daniel Haney. You said he stayed out for about 40 laps there. That was about 3 laps ago we made that call, so a 43 lap run or so for that 81 machine. If that is the case, Cameron Hearn pitted in, our race leader pitted in on, I'm trying to find the lap here for us, pitted in on lap 136. So if that is in fact the case, from lap 137 to lap 175, that's going to be really pushing it for the 67 to make it to the end here. The guy that could be sitting in the best spot to make it to the end may in fact be somebody like Mike Rominger and Jake Nichols, if they can save enough fuel to make it to the end under green. And if we get a caution, I think that puts everybody in a shout of making it to the end, but at that point I think everybody would come in to get tires anyway.
Oh, absolutely. That's a very, very good observation. That is something for these drivers to think about. And yeah, 67 Cameron Hearn will not be able to make it without one more pit stop. The 25 of Tyler Ducharme here within less than a second of him, and the 2/10 of a second behind him. And he is catching out to him. We had some trouble on the track while you were speaking there. Around the 5, Alan Airwood was involved with the 54 Nick Northrup. They ended up making contact with the driver who was going down a pit road. And because of that, they have been separated. 4 by Nick Northrup here, still going nice and strong despite a little mishap. But the 5 Alan J. Elwood is paying the price, because he does have a lot of damage on the machine.
Yeah, that is for sure. A couple of them do have a lot of damage there. You just said the 5 car of Alan Elwood, a lot of front end damage there, and Nick Northrup also with a little bit of damage to that car. But you know, we've seen the field now get really spread out with these green flag stops, and to me right now, to be honest, if I'm the 66 of Blake Reynolds, I know that I'm faster than Jake Nichols over the course of the long run. I know that I have a car that may be able to beat Jake on the long run. He has such a giant gap right now over Jake. Maybe if I were Blake, I'd be trying to save my fuel just a little bit right now, because I don't know if Blake's going to be able to make it either. He pitted, you know, not too far behind the 67. If the 67 can't make it, the 66 might be in that risk as well of just not being able to have just enough fuel to make it to the end here.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. The 66 of Blake Reynolds is in a very, very good spot. He can actually have he can make a lot of mistakes and still not pay the price for it, because Jake Nichols is a long ways back. But actually looking at it right now, Blake Reynolds, who just took over the race lead, might be able to make it, because they have a difference of 4 laps from the last time they last pitted in, they being Cameron Hearn and Blake Reynolds. So something tells me that Blake will be able to make it all the way here, Ryan. But at the same time, it's very, very difficult to be sure.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting to see what happens here. But right now, Blake Reynolds, you said it, sitting in a great spot, just about 2.5 seconds in front of Jake. And if Jake's tires don't hold up over the course of this run, it is going to be really tough for him to make up that amount of time on the 66 of Blake Reynolds, assuming Blake is able to pick his way through all this lap traffic without incident. And the next closest guy to Jake Nichols, you have to look all the way back another 2.5 seconds or so to Mike Rominger, who's sitting in the 5th spot in that number 4 Jimmy John's racing machine.
And Ryan, I'm currently comparing the lap times of the 73 of Nichols and the 66 of Blake Reynolds. These drivers, I mean, Jake Nichols has been gaining a lot of time against the 66 of Blake Reynolds. So it most likely is the, you know, like we talked about, we concluded that Jake Nichols is faster in the short run. So right now he is propelling and doing an amazing job against Blake Reynolds, because last time I checked he was about 3.9 seconds and now he's knocked it down to about 2.5 seconds. So he is on the move, and we now have 20 laps remaining. So if he does continue the exact same pace, he just might be able to catch up to him before it's over.
Yeah, that is true. He's going to have to keep those tires, though. He's going to have to hope that this is the best long run he's had all night long, and that 66 makes a mistake, because right now Jake is going to make the pass, it looks like, with some ease as they go into turn 1 on the 25 of Tower Ducharme, who is having to save some fuel because I don't know that he's going to make it to the end here. And Jake is now up to the 3rd spot as they head down the back straightaway. Jake Nichols, as you said, continues to close in on the 66, who right now is actually battling with some lap traffic behind him. Looks like the 151 either might be drafting with him to try to save some fuel, or maybe trying to get his lap back the hard way around the 66.
Yeah, most likely trying to get his lap back. Unfortunately, we have lost one driver, 67 of Cameron Hearn. Very, very unfortunate, losing connection from the server here. But the 151 of Davis Richards, yep, getting his lap back the hard way, at least trying to. But Blake Reynolds is not going to let him go. They are battling side by side here throughout turns 3 and 4 in the exit of 4. The 60 of Blake Reynolds comes up with a big run. Nope, he lets off to let him by. They're still going neck and neck here. Still to the side.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely not what the 66 wants to be doing, is battling a lapped car like this. I don't understand why it is that the 151 is battling the leader so hard like this late in the race, but it is what it is. At this point right now, the 66 just has to keep that machine clean, just keep doing what he's doing, keep hitting his marks. He's still got a 2-second gap over Jake Nichols, and that gap actually looks like it may, it still goes down a little bit lap by lap, but right now the 66, with only what's going to be 15 laps to go, he's still sitting in the preferred spot there as this race is beginning to wind down.
And Ryan, the 151 of Davis Richards was battling that hard to get his lap back the hard when he did so, and he is now the last car on the lead lap. So that was definitely a battle that was worth it for him. But that was definitely why he was fighting him that much. But that did not help the case of the leader, the 66 of Blake Reynolds. And something tells me, Ryan, that once Jake Nichols catches up to Blake Reynolds, if he does catch up to him, he's going to have burned up his stuff. So at this point, it's very, very difficult to tell. And Blake Reynolds most likely just hoping for the worst for Jake.
Yeah, really right now, Blake just needs to keep hitting his marks, keep doing his thing, because another important thing to remember, even though Jake is catching up to the 66 lap after lap, there are still 2 lap cars in between Blake and Jake. So Jake still has to work his way around those guys, and catching somebody is one thing, passing him is another. So even if Jake does save his tires enough to catch the 66, he may be able to get there. He may not have enough left to get around him.
Oh, absolutely. And right now he is kind of falling off the pace. Looks like Blake Reynolds might have either upped his game or Jake Nichols have burned up his stuff. It's now affecting him negatively. Yep, he is now starting to lose time lap after lap, and that's going to make Blake happy.
Yeah, it is. Blake is going to be hoping here that it just stays green to the end. That's his best friend right now. And if we get to lap 170, 171, this race will be over. Obviously, we don't have a overtime rules or anything like that here on iRacing, and with this being a 175 lap race, realistically right now, if you're the driver of the 66 car, you know that right now you just need 6 green flag laps, and then the next caution may in fact end this race, and you may have this thing wrapped up.
Oh, absolutely. He's just pretty much hoping for that to happen. And that's bad news for 73 of Jake Nichols, who just let the, that's going to be 26 of Devin, who just got off pit road, some heavy damage. He's still doing an amazing job of taking these machines, still keeping up the speed somehow, battling the 00 of Nick Hunt. That's not going to be for position.
No, it's not, but it definitely goes to show that even with all that damage, what 4 fresh tires can do for you, as he is actually going to move high here and let Jake get back by around him. And Jake is got to be pleading with these lap cars, please, please let me by, let me have the chance to get to the 66, don't hold me up. you know, this late in the run, no sense in trying to battle these lap cars if you're Jake Nichols, but there's nothing you can do if they're in your line.
Oh, absolutely, and he's the gap in between him and the leader, the 66 of Blake Reynolds, gets nothing but bigger lap after lap. But he is still doing an amazing job keeping up pace in between him and the 25 of Tyler Ducharme, who is currently in the third place spot. They are spread out about 2.8 seconds. So his best bet right now is to try and not lose that third place spot and just pretty much keep the gap consistent. At the same time, trying to get around the 0-0 of Nick Hunt, who won't let him by. He's got to fight.
That is for sure. And we talked earlier on after the pit stops, you had mentioned that the 5 and the 54 had gotten together. The 5 car, unfortunately for Alan J. Elwood, has just blown the engine in that 5 machine.
That's most likely from all that front damage. Wasn't letting enough air in to cool that machine, and because of that, it most likely did overheat. And unfortunately, had to end that way for the 5 of Alan Elwood. But very, very unfortunate. Very, very nicely done on his part all night long tonight. But that was very unfortunate for him. But that does give us something to look forward to for next week, because he will be back for revenge.
Yeah, that's for sure. He's going to have to just hope for the best next week. And we have another driver very slow down the back straightaway, Mike Franklin. I'm not sure what happened, but Mike also appears to be coming to the pit lane. That is going to move a couple of different cars now up into the top 10, those including the 51 of Tyler Laughlin, Keith Haney now running 8th, Mason Wetzel in 9th, and Aiden Young, the highest he's been all night long now, up into the 10th spot. A lot of different names up here in the top 10, and got to give a shout right now to the driver, the 21, David Elliott, been hanging in there all night long. Was one of the last cars to come to pit road. He finds himself in the 11th spot, maybe on pace to get one of the better finishes of his entire Extreme Motorsports 99 career here, as we're coming down this time to what's only going to be 6 laps to go. Blake Reynolds still with a 2.8 second lead. It's looking like it may all but be over here with the 66 of Blake Reynolds out in front.
And speaking of the 21 of David Elliott, last time we talked to him or spoke of him was when he was leading up front and with 6 lap older tires compared to everybody else, because the whole field had pitted in except for him and 34 of Delonte Ballard, and that did end too well for them. So right now, just doing an amazing job, trying his best to sneak at least into the top 10, because his next victim is the 9 of Aiden Young, who is about 2 seconds ahead of him. So here, if he can push it, he has 5 laps to get the job done. But I'm not sure whether or not that's enough time for him, because they are both, they do have great, amazing pace.
Yeah, and right now as well, we along with the winners going on, we got to be considering somebody maybe to talk to as our 4th driver here, usually a standout driver of the night. I think one of the guys we got to at least consider has been Patrick Mallett, running 5th right now, and that 19 car is stuck in there all night long and is on pace to get a great finish here. One of the newcomers here to ExtremeMotorsports99.com. Patrick Mallett has looked good here, as we now only have 4 laps to go.
Yep, 4 laps to go right now, most likely trying his best to figure out a way to set up the 54 of Nick Northrup if he gets that chance. And right now, Nick trying to catch up to the 25 of Tyler Ducharme, who is 1 second ahead of him. But they are being separated by a lap car. It's going to be the 81 of Daniel Haney. And Daniel Haney here still up to speed, still up to pace. But Nick Northrup will use his draft to most likely slingshot past him and gain a lot of time to 25 of Ducharme as a result.
Yeah, you're right. It is still a 3-car battle back there as well. These 3 not separated by all that much. The 25 of Tyler Ducharme, who may not be able to make it to the end here. And you just said the 54 working his way around the 81 of Daniel Haney, and the 19 still there right on the back bumper of the 54. But now 2 laps to go here for the 66 of Blake Reynolds. And really it's for Jake Nichols. He's just going to have to try to get this thing home in second. But the real battle is going to be back there for 3rd through 5th.
Yep, 3rd through 5th. These guys are within a second of each other, less than a second of each other. And right now, the 54 of Nick Northrup does seem to be catching the 25 of Tyler Ducharme. But now we are coming to the white flags, so it's going to be very difficult to tell what happens. But 81 of Daniel Haney here is separating the 54 of Nick and the 19 of Patrick Mallett, who are racing for position.
Well, as they come out of turn 2, Blake Reynolds going to come down the back straightaway here. They head for turn 3. Blake Reynolds put in a stout effort tonight, had basically, as I said earlier, the car to beat. Blake Reynolds has done a masterful job, and Blake Reynolds is going to come out of turn 4 and win the race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Jake Nichols going to come home second, and the battle, as we said, going to be through 3rd through 5th there. Looks like it's going to be Tyler Ducharme in 3rd as they're still battling, coming to the line. And we may have actually lost Nick Northrup there, coming to the line. Yes, he manually disconnected, coming to the line. What happened there?
Yeah, we had some trouble on the exit of turn number 2 between 25 of Ducharme and 54 of Nick Northrup, and that did send Nick nose first into the wall on the below the apron there. So that did end his night. But man, that was something.
Real quick, guys. Yeah, I was watching that battle between Tyler Ducharme right there, Nick Northrup. And yeah, those two got together there on the last lap. We'll go back on the replay there, let the viewers kind of see what happened, because they touched. It was coming out of the line to the last lap there, definitely battling it out between each other. And it was an awesome race, man, to the finish. Again, I mean, Blake Reynolds, did everything he had to do tonight to win this one. But watching this replay here, the 54 come on the inside, just got barely touched right there, and then the 81, nowhere to go, clipped him. And then the 54 went all the way into the wall right there at the last lap. So that's kind of what happened on that deal. Guys, what a race so far, though.
Yeah, that race was absolutely fantastic here tonight. And congratulations to the driver, the number 66, Blake Reynolds. Put that machine out in front late in the going there. Was able to hold off Jake Nichols, who was really putting in that hard effort after that final pit stop. Jake going to come up just a little bit short in second. Tyler Laughlin in third. And how about Patrick Mallett and Mike Rominger working their way into the top 5 there on that final lap?
Yeah, that was very, very impressive by both drivers, and making those moves, moving up there at the exact right time they did move up, exiting turn number 4, crossing the start finish line for the checkered flag. So it definitely was a very, very hard-fought battle on their part.
Yeah, that's for sure. And so far this season, that's going to put Blake Reynolds' first win of the year in the books so far tonight here. And we're going to start getting these guys up to the staging room. But, who do you think, Sean, we should talk to as our 4th driver, our standout driver of the night?
I would say the 19 of Patrick Mallett, who has been a heavy mover all night long.
All right, well, I will let you get a chat with Mr. Mallett if Joe can pull him up into the staging. Oh, there he is.
Number 19, Patrick Mallett. Got a cup there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
How you doing tonight?
Not too bad, yourself.
Doing good too, thank you. Just enjoyed the race you put on here, the show you put on against these drivers here. You did have to earn all your spots, and you did so successfully. Well, brother, talk to us about your race all night long tonight.
Well, it's great whenever you can get laps in the tires, because you can really separate yourself from the others. You can really get some really good racing going, because the setup was so tight, even with low fuel in it. I mean, it makes it even worse. So when you can get those long green flag runs, and it makes it really good.
Oh, absolutely, brother. And how were your green flag pit stops? Because it did seem as though you did gain a lot of time against the drivers ahead of you, and you were able to benefit from that.
Yeah, we had a discussion in the Team Speak channel when we were gonna pit, and I pitted a lap after one of my, the winner actually, Blake Reynolds. So I pitted a lap after him, and I managed to, I guess, pick up a couple spots there.
Well, brother, I want to commend you on that. You were able to gain a lot of time, a lot of spots, and sneaking here into the top 5 with a 4th place finish up, starting in the 6th place spot. We didn't see you here in the top 5 all night long tonight, but you were here when it really mattered the most, and secured yourself a 4th place spot. Before I let you go, but any final words?
Just a big thank you to the guys at Law Dog Motorsports for, taking me in this league. Blake Reynolds for actually introducing me to this league. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, brother. We do hear that you are a new driver, yeah. So we do hope this is a very, very good start to the league, coming out with the 4th place finish with the drivers you've never raced with here in the Cup Series at Extreme Motorsports 99. Well, brother, look forward to seeing you again next race, and hope the momentum shifts over.
Right on. Thanks, guys.
That was the 19 of Patrick Mallett. And thank you, Ryan. Back to you.
Yeah, no problem, man. We're also going to let you talk to the driver who came home 3rd tonight, Tyler Laughlin. Wait, is Tyler Laughlin in our thing up here?
Oh, 1 second.
All right.
Well, we do have a third place finisher, the 51 of Tyler Laughlin. Got a cup there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
How you doing tonight?
It was a long night. That's about all I can say about it.
Oh, absolutely. And Tyler, coming from 32nd place, no qualifying time, to third place. How the heck did you pull that off?
Just missing the carnage. I felt like I had a good shot at winning whenever I got up to Jake right there around the middle of the race. I felt like that gave me the track position I needed. I was sitting there all night trying to get that track position, saving tires, trying to bide my time, but never got a long run until there at the end. And I'm just going to say some bad luck. I'll just say that. And happened, put us back in the back, and had to fight our way back. So, of course, I went green there to the end. I didn't get a reset there, which I really needed. But congrats to Blake Reynolds on his first win here. Yep.
Well, Tyler, you did an amazing job tonight. You are the hardest charger here, coming from 32nd place to third place. We were glad that you were able to stay alive and avoid all those big wrecks we had, because those big wrecks did wipe out a lot of drivers. But you were able to stay alive, which did give you a shot here at the top three. But how's the machine handling in the long run? Because in the beginning, they talked about how it was tight. Did it loosen up in the long run?
Not really, not for me. Mine stayed neutral. I saw a lot of guys getting real tight there on the long runs, and I did a great job managing my tires, the right front tire especially, and towards the end of the run, everyone was just plowing up the track, and I was just hooked right around the white line trying to stay on the bottom. But yeah, tire wear is actually really big, and the short pitting strategy paid off for some people, but didn't for the others. But yeah.
Well, buddy, we are glad that you were one of the drivers who had some success tonight with the green flag pit stops, and was able to adapt to the changes in the car, securing yourself a third place finish after starting 32nd. I want to congratulate you on that, and before I let you go, buddy, any final words?
That.
I was saying, any final words before we let you go?
I just want to thank Rick and Don and Ken for putting on this show. It was I'll give it to all the drivers going green all the way to the end there. That was a lot more. That was a lot of fun. I was worried that we weren't going to get a run like that all race long, but I'm proud of the drivers for keeping it green all the way to the end. So just want to give a shout out to you guys at OSR. You guys do a fantastic job, and keep up the good work.
Well, do thank you for the kind words, brother, and congratulations on being a hard mover, and also being able to secure yourself a podium finish. I look forward to seeing you again next race. Have a good night.
Thank you, Sean.
And that was the third place driver, Tyler Laughlin. Well, back to you.
All right, thank you, Sean. And now I'm going to bring in Mr. Joe White. He is going to interview our second place finisher, Jake Nichols.
Jake Nichols, Joe White in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, I do.
I'll tell you what, Superman, looked pretty good out there tonight. And awesome paint job you had on that machine. Looked good all night long. Looked like you had a good short run car out there from what I was seeing. You were bad fast at the beginning of those starts, and then it looks like that 66 just was able to run you down as the laps go on, and then you just kind of got, marred back in a little bit of traffic there with some lap cars, and just a long green flag run there to end it. A little rough at the beginning, but hey, it ended really well. How was your night? How's it feel? Because you brought it home a second tonight.
It was good. Again, I'm not a big fan of tight setups. It wasn't that tight, but it was way more than compared to loose. But either way, good race. First half didn't go so well for most, but once we got rolling at halfway, we went green to the checker. I think our last caution ended on lap 107, and from then on we were green flag. So it was still fun either way. We're good on short run. Sometimes we're good on long run, but once the track got heated up, just wasn't picking up the speed like I wanted on the long run. And that first run we really had a brawl. It was like 5 to 6 of us just going all out like it was the last lap, and it was really fun. It was fun to have a legit race, just giving it all we got. And Blake was behind it all, and he was able to just coast, and we all burnt up our tires, and once that happens, it's just you're not going to get them back. So he took the lead and left, and he had really good speed, short and long run. So being able to save his tires like he did helped him really good on that those last two runs there. Either way, though, good run for the OSR. in car. Almost got junked on lap 149. Someone nailed the brakes on the apron and slid right up in front of us. But other than that, it was a good race. Wish we had less cautions, but can deal with it at the end of the day. For some good racing, I'll pace 30 laps if we get 30 laps of great racing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, a little rough at the beginning, but I contribute that. I mean, I had 39 bad, fast machines out there tonight, and I always say the best of the best here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com in the Cup Series. I mean, your guys, man, y'all give it all week in and week out. And it's awesome, man, to watch and see and call the races here. And from what I saw, with all the cars out there, everybody just looked like they were on top of each other. And and I know with tight setup cars, that's what happens sometimes. But you said, like at the end, you got a good green flag run. You were able to get out there, but hey, good points night for you. Able to bounce back. My next question here for you, though, now that we're about 4 races in, how are you feeling this season's going? Because it seems like we got some bad, fast, man, boys here now that are giving all the competitions. How are you feeling about the competition so far this year?
I think it's good. I think it's going to thin out a little bit. It has been past seasons. Not because the racing is bad, just because some people have bad starts to the season and they just give up, which I wish they didn't do that, because it ain't over till it's over. Especially with the chase, if you just sneak your way in, then you can make it and go for the championship. But I think it's going to be a tough rest of the season. I'm not really rushing myself to get wins. I want to win, of course, but last season proved it. And I said it earlier this season, of course, at the start, that don't need to win every race in the regular season. We got to save that up for the chase so we can get our second championship. But it's going to be a good season, I think, once we get guys that are really in it for the long run or the long haul in this league. Once we get them to stay, and it's going to thin out a little bit, I think. But either way, I think we're going to have some really great races. You're probably going to see the best races we've had yet, at least since I've been here in the next few. That race, last 70 laps was intense. It was really fun. I think it's the best racing I've experienced this season so far. So I think if we keep that up and keep the cautions out of it and the impatience out of it, I think we're going to have a really great rest of the season. I think the fans can really enjoy the racing we provide here.
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree totally with you right there. You definitely, showed poise, and a lot of the guys did their last 70 laps or whatnot. And you're right. You spoke of something. It's a different attitude, mindset you're coming in with, because we're used to seeing Superman fly high with that bad, fast cape out there and win just everything, dominating. But you did realize in the last 2 seasons, even though you won a championship doing that, you won a lot last season, and you saw a guy come in from a different series here and just do it off consistency. So it's the old adage of sometimes consistency wins championships. You can win a lot and sometimes not win a championship. So it's good to see that. But hey, man, you came in second. And I also want to give you a congratulations on your start there in the Pro Series race this past week. A really good finish there. I saw that. That was nice. So give you a shout out. You got anybody out there you want to thank for tonight's run?
Well, Ford, Zero Gravity Racing, all the Solar Flare guys that I hang out with during these races. OSR Network for being on the car. It was a blast. We'll definitely run that scheme a few more. I really like it. It's bad fast too. Extreme Motorsports 99 for putting these races on. Again, thank you guys, because doing the broadcast, you do a great job every single week, every single race you guys show off on YouTube and Facebook and even Twitch. So thanks again. Thanks to all the fans that watch every week. Even if you only tune in for once here and there, it's still better than not watching at all. So thank you for tuning in.
Absolutely. Well, I'll let you get back down there to your crew, because I know you're going to be happy. Get ready for next week, man. It's going to be another awesome race there. Appreciate it again, and congratulations on bringing that thing home, man. In second place tonight, Jake Nichols.
Thank you.
All right, Ryan, Sean, I'll leave it back to y'all two guys there, man, to get our winner here. Probably Ryan's going to run on down there to Victory Lane to walk or get on his little goat cart and storm off down there, because there's some happy campers in that 66 camp. Blake Reynolds.
Yes, sir. Well, Blake Reynolds, I'm down here in Victory Lane with you, as you have just taken the victory in the Dre Broadcasting 175. How does it feel to pick up your first win here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com?
It's pretty cool. You know, I've been going at this for a while, 4 races in, I think. Really haven't had the results to show that I've had the pace, but I've felt like I've been in contention, at least in my ability to win every week. It's finally good to, bring it in the victory lane and park it.
Well, we saw that you definitely had the long run car out there. You were able to get by Jake Nichols a few times whenever it was he was out in front. And on that last run with that final green flag stop, you were just able to get out in front and stay there. What would you say was the most challenging part of tonight's event for you in that 66 machine?
The cautions. I am not a short run driver. I've always been a longer run driver. I like when the races kind of play out and you don't really know the running order because I was so spread out. Yeah, the cautions really hurt me tonight. I was actually looking forward to some long green flag runs. Charlotte's one of my favorite tracks for long runs. Really know how to save the tires here. Just kind of a skill I picked up somewhere, but yeah, cautions definitely hurt us.
Well, despite the cautions that you had tonight, we saw you be spectacular in that 66 machine. And again, congratulations on your first win here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com. Is there anybody else out there you want to thank for bringing home your first career victory here at Extreme?
Well, I got to thank everyone back at Dead Zone Racing, Simworks Racing, just all the guys that really support me, not only here but also in the Peak Antifreeze series. Guys like Ryan Luza, Houston Hammer, Dustin Langert, Alan Bose, a lot of guys help us out. I can't say that. Extreme Motorsports 99, really great league. Really got to thank these guys for putting it on. Really big field. It's really well run, and you guys at OSR for broadcasting these races to YouTube.
All right. Well, thank you again, Blake, for coming up here and talking with us. Congratulations on the win, and we hope to catch up with you next week when the Cup Series takes Dover.
All right. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Well, gentlemen, that was a absolutely fantastic race to call. It was awesome to be up here with you, Sean. Thank you for joining me for this race, and I hope you had a lot of fun up here, just as I did, and I hope Joe enjoyed his night off, basically.
Well, thank you, Ryan. I definitely did enjoy you guys having me up here, and thank you. The pleasure's all mine. We should do this more often. It was an amazing race. So many battles. It was a rough start, but ended up becoming good, and very, very unfortunate for all drivers who had a bad night tonight. I look forward to seeing them again at Dover. And seeing these guys go around this track really made me want to go onto the track with these cars, because I haven't ran the Gen 6 cars in over a year, just because I couldn't handle them when I was in them. Makes me want to go out there and just try and practice them, because they do look fun, and the guys did make them look fun, and just amazing. Listen to those engines, or those V8 motors roaring with each other.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Any final thoughts before we do the results there, Joe?
Awesome race. That's all I got to say. These guys, man, put on a tremendous show here. We're under the lights at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And guys, man, a good job between y'all two up there. Man, listened to it the whole entire time. I was interacting with all the viewers out there, chatting it up a cool breeze. And hey, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The best of the best from ExtremeMotorsports99.com. These guys, we got a lot of pro-style, iRacing style guys out here. When I say pro-style guys, we have actually some guys that actually run in the Pro Series that are here, and some that have run in the past. So definitely star-studded field, bad fast drivers and some bad fast cars on a bad fast track, and some bad fast announcers up in the booth. So guys, awesome show.
Thank you, Joe, very much. And now I think we can do the results. So whenever you have that up for us, Joe, and me and Sean can start going through that.
You're good.
All right. Well, obviously our winner here tonight was the 66 of Blake Reynolds. Coming home in second was Jake Nichols. Third place, Tyler Laughlin. Fourth place, Patrick Mallett. Fifth, Mike Rominger. Sixth, Tyler Ducharme. Seventh, Mason Wetzel. Eighth, Keith Haney. Ninth, Aiden Young. And 10th, David Elliott.
And the 11th place was 7 of Tyler Sifford, 151 Davis Richards 12th, and he was the last car on the lead lap. 54 of Nick Northrup 13th, the 34 of Delonta Ballard 14th, 00 of Nick Hunt 15th, 81 Daniel Haney 16th, the 13 of Matt Hoover 17th, the 8 of Brian Johnson 18th, The 1 of Travis McDaniel, 19th. We haven't spoken much of Travis tonight, but definitely look forward to seeing him at Dover. The 82 of Mike Franklin, 20th. The 5 Alan Edward, 21st. The 67 of Cameron Hearn, 22nd. 59 of James Thorndike, 23rd. 115 of Cody Pace, 24th. The 2 of Ethan Kurtz, 25th. The 28 of Ryan Keys, 26th. 55 of James Haney, 27th. The 71 of Colton Davis, 28th. The 6 of Tom Wetmore, 29th. The 26 of Devin Schmecker, 30th. 88 of John Hilston, 31st. Bobby Cheney, 32nd. John T. Wimbish, 33rd. Adam Gilliland, 34th. Richie Evans, 35th. And the last driver, the 40 of Jimmy Mullis.
All right, well, definitely want to thank you, Sean, for joining me up here tonight. Want to thank Joe for giving me the opportunity and Sean to be up here and call the race. And want to thank Dre Broadcasting, obviously, for sponsoring this. Obviously, Sean, you with them, as noted throughout the night. And, great run here tonight for everybody here in the Dre Broadcasting 175, presented by ExtremeMotorsports99.com. And just want to thank all the fans at home for watching. Joe, if you want to close us out, but just want to say thank you, everyone, again for watching, obviously, and have an awesome night, guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to give a shout out to our title sponsor here, TN Designs, Racing Designs and Graphics here. As always, ExtremeMotorsports99.com. Cup Series action here, and these boys, man, put on a show, rocking it around. The 66 machine tonight, put it in victory circle. That's old Blake Reynolds right there, and he had the Superman behind him, man, trying to trail him and run him down. Couldn't get it done, though. But again, you had old Sean Shula up there, along with Ryan W. Daniels. I'll just go ahead and say Shulu was up here in the booth with Ryan W. Daniels. That way I don't have to mess his last name up. But hey, I want to appreciate Sean coming up here for Dre Broadcasting. And definitely check those guys out, man, over there on YouTube, Monday and Tuesday, and the rest of the week for that matter. As always here at OSR Network, guys, I want to appreciate y'all. I want to appreciate the viewers coming out, because it was one heck of a race. And see you tomorrow night at Hardline. Appreciate everyone. Have a good night.